again, everybody, and welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. The band is back together. We've been gone for a couple weeks, but now we're back, and we got a lot to break down, from free agents to figuring out how we're going to work around this camp to looking at a couple early guys in the draft that the Bears are looking at. And then before we check out of here, we're going to honor a Chicago legend. We lost a great one, the Michael Jordan of radio. We'll talk about it with y'all right after this.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars aligned. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Oh, hello again, everybody. It's so great to be back. It was such a dreadful Wednesday last week. Kyle's computer didn't work. Jay had a family issue, and I was sick as a dog. It was a disaster. Well, we're back, baby, and we got a lot to talk to you about. How we doing, boys? How we feeling today?
I feel pretty good, dude. It's finally starting to warm up. I've been working outside this whole time, and it sucked for a good week there, dude. It was really bad, but feels like, 15 degrees. It's almost like springtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's weird, man. It's weird to be talking about free agency, and they're going to be start breaking down the draft here in a couple weeks, man. I feel like the season's not over yet, but unfortunately for Bears fans, it is.
Thanks, Phil. And by the way, Kyle, the season's never over. We talked about this, man. There's 2 seasons, football season and
waiting for football season.
That's right. And while we wait for football season, we have a plethora of things to look forward to. So let's take a look at the NFL calendar. February 9th, we got the waiver period starting. March 17th through March 3rd, we got the tag window, followed by the early negotiating window right after that, followed by the new league, which begins March 11th of 2026. Then they'll go to their annual meetings. Restricted free agents offer sheets deadline come in April 17th, then followed by the draft, and then 5th-year option deadlines. I mean, football season never stops. Look at this. It takes us all the way to training camp. This is a beautiful NFL upcoming calendar. I love it to death, boys. And you know what? Really quick, I got to be remiss because we missed this on Monday, and, sometimes we brain fart a little bit. But, hey, man, happy anniversary to the remaining alive members of the 1985 Super Bowl champion, the greatest football team that ever graced a football field, the 85 Bears. It was our 40th anniversary this past Monday, January 26th. So happy anniversary, boys. Hopefully we can erase that 40 and make it a 0 next year. So we got a lot to get to, boys. Where do you guys want to start on this full plate of food that we got for the audience today?
Hey, man, you're the ringleader. Go ahead and you choose, and we'll just tell you what we got.
Well, I'm really interested because on Monday you guys talked a lot about the free agents and the guys that weren't coming back from the Chicago Bears, or guys you possibly thought wouldn't be coming. I shouldn't say wouldn't be, but shouldn't be coming back from the Chicago Bears. Then we started getting into some cap things, and I really wanted to talk about this cap things because I know the space looks grim. And if you go back and you look at last year, going into the offseason, one team in particular, the Kansas City Chiefs, were $3 million over the cap. So they did some restructuring. They moved some things around. They took most notably Patrick Mahomes. They converted $27 million of his contract from a roster bonus into a signing bonus, which opened up cap. Then they turned around and they restructured Chris Jones as well. They freed up $49.44 million in cap savings by March 12th of 2025 just by moving those 2 contracts around. So I ask you, boys, when it comes to this, you have 2 guys in mind. I have 2 guys in mind. Maybe not coming off of his year saying Montez Sweat restructure, but DJ Moore maybe restructure. I think restructuring for DJ Moore far better than trading DJ Moore. I will go on record. I want DJ Moore here in 2026 on this roster catching balls from Caleb Williams. So if we start talking about this, Kyle, I know you spend a lot of time on this cap stuff. So go ahead and start us off. Tell us what you think of the cap and how the Bears can maneuver some of this stuff around.
Yeah, Sean, I mean, you mentioned there's basically 4 ways you create cap space as an NFL general manager. You can restructure contracts, which that includes everything like you just talked about, changing money into signing bonuses or so on and so forth, moving guarantees. There's another way you can create cap spaces by extending somebody, which is basically restructuring a contract. So for instance, Cole Kmet is due to make $9 million this year. If the Bears extended him by 1 year, they could pay him $1 million this year and then give him the $90 million on that next year's extension, or 10 or 12, 8 to 14, whatever they owe him for the 2 year extension. You can trade somebody. Best to do after June 1st. Post June 1st is when you basically lose all the guarantees. You will almost have no dead cap if you trade somebody after June 1st. And then lastly, Sean, unfortunately, there are some guys who you could just part ways with, cut. Like Tremaine Edmonds this year, he's only owed, I think, $2.5 million in guarantees. So you'd have $2.5 million in dead cap, but you'd save $15 million by cutting TJ Edwards. And Sean, if you look around the league right now, I'd say that TJ Edwards is the guy in the Bears who probably has the sweatiest palms. Because if you look around the league, man, you look at guys like some of the linebackers like White in Oakland. I think he got a $2 million contract. And these guys are playing at the same level that Tremaine Edmonds is. So if Tremaine Edmonds is to me personally, Sean, that's probably going to be the first guy to go if you're Ryan Poles. It's just not that. If you look at the Bears cut candidates right now, it would be basically Cairo Santos, DeAndre Swift, and Tremaine Edmonds. Those are the guys who could save you the most amount of money without giving you too much dead cap, because all their guarantees are almost already paid. So you'd save $7.5 million by cutting DeAndre Swift. You'd save $15 million by cutting Tremaine Edmonds, and you'd save close to $4 million by cutting Cairo Santos. Everybody else, like you mentioned, DJ Moore and his contract. You mentioned Montez Sweat and his contract. The problem with those guys is you'd have to trade them because they're owed so much in guarantees that you'd have a ton of dead cap if you cut those. Yeah. You'd have to trade them. So those 3 guys I mentioned are the Bears trade or cut candidates: DeAndre Swift, Cairo Santos, and Tremaine Edmonds. But there is a million different ways to create money, and the Bears are going to do it. I have faith that Ryan Poles is going to do a good job in creating more cap space for this team in 2026. And Sean, there's another thing we rarely ever talk about, especially if you're a Chicago Bears fan. It's something, and like I said, guys, I'd like to get an NFL agent on here to explain this to you guys, because there's a lot of terminology that goes into it, legal mumbo jumbo. But NFL owners could also use what they call cash over cap. So what they can do is they can take those smaller contracts, guys like Travis Homer, guys like Britton Brown, and they can pay their entire salary in cash, and it no longer counts against your salary cap. Now, I don't know if that's something George McCaskey and the McCaskey family are willing to do, but that is an option for the Chicago Bears. The salary cap in the NFL it's not considered a hard cap. It's not like if you go over you get all these fines and all. It's not like baseball. You can maneuver your way around that salary cap a little bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see. I mean, honestly, I think you're probably spot on with the 3 guys that they could maybe trade. Some of the issues though, like DJ, I think he's great, but I think you're going to have a problem moving him for the value that you want back, plus his contract. I mean, I think he's worth it, but I'm with Sean. I want to see him here because honestly, we don't make the playoffs. We don't beat Green Bay without that dude. So,
yeah.
Well, I can tell you guys this: if the Bears were ever considering like a Max Crosby type player who's already under contract next season and is getting over $40 million a year, if they wanted to bring a guy like that to the Chicago Bears, you'd almost have to trade DJ Moore, because you'd have to clear up that $23 million in salary cap that you owe DJ Moore in order to bring Max Crosby over here, and you'd still have to maneuver some salary or restructure some contracts or part ways with Tremaine Edmonds to pay one player, Max Crosby, $41 million annually. And he's still due. Remember, guys, he signed that contract last year, so Max Crosby is still due a ton of guarantees, a ton. So you're going to have. It would be
interesting to see if we trade for him, what Las Vegas would have to eat on that.
Yeah.
Well, and if we did trade for him, I think Ryan Poles would ask him before the trade was finalized immediately to restructure his contract.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They would probably extend him by a year and push some of that money back into like 2020. That would be 2028, 2029.
Yeah, J2K, we're going to get into some of these couple of these draft guys here in just a little bit, and I agree with some of the names that you popped up. Those are actually a couple names I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, as I've been watching a lot of the Senior Bowl and some of these practices. I love those one-on-ones where the linemen and the D linemen get together and just ball out versus each other. Those are the best. Those are
real,
by far the best.
So real quick before we get into that, let's just give a shout out to the chat here. Breaking news, Bruce in the house as always. Lindsey Gruber in the house. J2K's here. Paul's here. I think Aunt Mass is in the house. Liz is here. John, and I think I thought it was. Oh yeah, Phil is also in the house. Thanks for joining us, boys. We appreciate it, guys.
All the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
Ron's in the house.
Kyle, we were I was kind of talking to you about this earlier, managing this tight cap space, converting some of these base salaries into signing bonuses, utilizing these void years, backloading contracts, pushing cap hits in the future years and stuff like that. These methods that other GMs have used, this is another stage of development for Ryan Poles, because Ryan Poles has been working with a pretty good plus bank since he started as GM for the Chicago Bears. So for me, this is going to be the most challenging offseason, I think, for Ryan Poles, because he's up against it. He has to figure out how to maneuver this tight cap by moving some of the things that we talked about, dead cap, moving these void years and all this other crap that he has to do, sharpening up the pencil and getting this thing right while bringing in some able bodies to fill some of these holes that the Chicago Bears had on the defensive side of the ball.
Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Sorry, Sean.
Thank you, Ron. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask, and Jason and Kyle, you guys could take this away. We have some dead money for some people, and obviously not dead money, but I call it dead money because they're fucking useless on this team, like Deo, and I guess I shouldn't say Grady Jarrett is useless, but that's an awful big contract for the production in which we got from him. And I understand being on the sideline, being a coach, and doing some of the things, being a leader, yes. But between Deo and Jarrett, I think there's another two spots where you could save a little bit of money, hopefully getting them restructured. What do you think? What do you think about that?
You guys, Deo has to be restructured. He has to be restructured. Let's face it. Like Ryan Poles has had his ups and downs. I know he's taken some criticism, but at the end of the day, this is year 4 of his contract on the Chicago Bears, and they were an overtime 5-minute field goal away from being in the NFC Championship game. I mean, there are pros to Ryan Poles as your GM. He's the guy who drafted Caleb Williams. He's the guy who got Ben Johnson here, but man, the Nate Davis and Deo contracts are absolutely horrendous, and they're killing the Bears, particularly Deo, because we talked about this numerous times, right, guys? You basically paid this guy projecting what you thought he could do. He clearly, before he got hurt last year, was not that guy. You almost didn't really notice he was on the football field. I would, the only way you could, I hear a lot of people saying cut Deo, get him out of Chicago and eat the dead money. You guys, it's just so much dead money. At this point, you'd just be better off having another body on the 53-man roster rather than cutting him, and you can use him rotationally. But yeah, I mean, Jason, I don't know what you think, but that Deo contract has to be restructured. It has to be restructured.
It's really brutal. That first half of the season, really, I should say maybe the first quarter of the season, just wasn't doing well at all. And ironically, Austin Booker wasn't in at all because he was injured. And really what's strange is, Montez Sweat actually finished with 10 sacks, and that's almost all like in the last half of the season. So he really came on strong, and I think that had a lot to do with Booker actually creating pressure on the opposite side, because now you can't just double team. You can't double team both edges. You know what I mean? One of them is going to get through. Me personally, though, I think Billings is probably going to be gone. I like the guy. He's probably our top run stuffer. But if you think you can find one in the draft here this year, I think you got to let him go for $4 million. I think we can replace him with someone of equal production for less. I think to be honest with you, I think we should try to move Javon Dexter. I know he's got a year left on his contract, but he really hasn't done much of anything, really. And he's supposed to have all this potential, but he really maybe a couple of good games, but I was not that pleased with him. Now, I don't think he's making that much money, so you could easily just keep him, and it's not going to hurt you that bad. But, going through all these things, we were talking about defensive tackles, and we were just horrible at stopping the run. We ironically came into the playoffs with a fairly solid pass rush. but we never developed that run defense. So I whatever we got to do, hopefully Shamar Turner's more healthy next year and can play and have an impact. But we need to figure something out because our inside, and you're right, Grady Jarrett's there, but we did just sign the guy, and I don't know if we're going to be able to move him or trade him. We need to get some youth in there, and we need to get some meat in there. We're going to talk maybe about a guy too a little bit later on, but in the draft. But man, we need help in the defense of middle.
Well, I'll tell you this. Sean is 100% correct when he says, if you want to know what Ryan Poles is made of, now is the time. Because, you know, it's easy to throw $90 million around, $100 million around in the offseason, sign whatever you feel like you need, fill the holes, man. When you're working up against the salary cap and you don't have much money to spend, you have to nail these drafts. You absolutely have to nail these drafts. It's got to be, this draft has to be just as good, if not better than last year's draft. Your fifth and seventh round picks, because I believe they don't have a sixth. They need to make impacts on this team like Kyle Monangai did. They have to have an impact on this team because the Bears are not going to go sign 15 players in free agency, guys. It's not going to be like the 3 years prior where everybody's like, oh, the Bears won the offseason. The Bears won the offseason. That's not going to happen. This year, it's not going to happen. They're not going to win the offseason. The Bears have to find a way to restructure these contracts, create some salary cap, get a couple guys that they think are going to have immediate major impacts, and nail this draft.
What are the Bears? What do you need to have for your draft picks? Anyone know off the top of their head? I forgot to look that up. How much cap space do you have to have available for your draft?
It's about.
I think it's like $15 million or something.
Yeah, $12 to $15 million. Depending, I mean, it depends because quarterbacks get bigger signing bonuses, so it depends on who you draft. But anywhere from $12 to $15 million.
All right. Well, I'm in on that, and we're gonna be drafting a little bit later in the draft. So thank you, J2K. I appreciate that. I forgot to look that up today. I keep watching all these shows, and everyone's solution is just trade DJ Moore, trade DJ Moore, trade DJ Moore. And I'm just like, man, dude, if I'm DJ Moore and I'm watching these shows or I'm seeing this shit, just the disrespect for DJ Moore, man, it's just a joke. And it frustrates me to no end because really for what he did and what he was asked to do, and when you look at the beginning of the season when he was basically removed from the offense, you know, we spent many times on our shows here asking, hey, why isn't DJ Moore being utilized in this offense? And then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, he doesn't earn his money because he's not. Yeah, well, when you look at the box scores and you say 3 targets for him and 12 for Roma Dunze, and then the next week 10 for Roma Dunze, 2 for DJ Moore. Well, guys, that's the reason his numbers went down. When the Chicago Bears called his number when Roma Dunze was out, that guy got us some pretty big time key catches and some big time key victories, and everyone's ready to ship that guy out of here. It's a damn shame, and DJ Moore should be disrespected or should feel disrespected. And I'm going to say one more thing because I don't know if this is true or not, but Olin Kreutz and Brad Biggs brought this up on the Score in the last 7 days at separate times, that the reason why, and I said the last time I was on here last Wednesday, I was upset about DJ Moore not talking to the media. They're saying that DJ Moore was probably concussed, played that game concussed, and he hid from the media to protect the Chicago Bears. We'll probably never find out if that's true, but if it is, then DJ Moore did the Chicago Bears a great service, and everyone owes him an apology that's been down his throat for ducking the media. This guy catches so much unfair criticism in Chicago, man. It's such a fucking joke.
Who cares if he talked to the media, dude? He clocked out. The season's over. Let the guy go home.
There's a few things I'd really like to say about DJ Moore and to the Chicago fan base in general. First of all, guys, you know, everybody keeps talking about his salary compared to his production. I mean, what you're doing is you're using the smaller sample size to make your argument. You look at DJ Moore's career in totality. The guy has 5 seasons over 1,000 all-purpose yards with some of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history. If I went through the list of quarterbacks he's played with, you guys, most of the chat doesn't even know who they are. You might not even know who they are. You don't even know that they played in the NFL. That's how bad some of these guys are.
Put them on Buffalo and see what happens.
And B, everybody's like, oh man, his production went down since you add a top 10 pick in Colston Loveland, you add Luther Burden in the second round, you added Roma Dunze with the 9th pick in the draft the year before that. Yeah, there's only one football. Everybody's statistics are going to go down. That's just part of it. The more weapons you have, the better. That doesn't mean that makes DJ Moore any worse of a receiver. It just means he doesn't have to do all the work. So like if your philosophy is, well, let's just sign a bunch of guys who are number twos instead of paying a guy $20 million a year. You guys know right now that DJ Moore is the 13th highest paid receiver in the NFL. If you look at his overall production since he was drafted, if you look at his whole career, he's around 12 to 16, 17 in production for receivers in the NFL. He's getting paid exactly what he was going to get paid anywhere else in the NFL. And I hate to do this because it's just fantasy football guys, but where is DJ Moore drafted in fantasy? The wide receiver number 12, 13, 14, 15. That's where he's paid. That's where he's paid. It's the NFL. People are like, well, DJ's the 13th high paid receiver. Yeah, and next year a guy like Jacoby Myers might be the 12th highest paid receiver in the NFL because every year they reset the market. That's just how the NFL works. Every year the market is reset. So 3 or 4 years from now, guys like Jacoby Myers are going to be getting DJ more money because the salary keeps going up and these players keep earning more money. That's just the way it works.
And you know what? DJ Moore is the type of player that defensive coordinators have to account for and game plan for. No matter what you feel about DJ Moore, you have to account for him because right now he's pretty much our only deep threat. And I'm going to get to a guy later that I think maybe can help us out and be very, very cheap in doing so. But I don't want to see him go. I think he's a great football player. He signed through to 29, I want to think, anyways. And he's still only like 26 or 20, like he's still young. I'd like to see him stay here.
Yeah, another thing about DJ, and Sean and I talked about this the other day, guys, is everybody kind of has this mentality now, like, well, Caleb's here, he's arrived, so we don't need all these studs on the team to help him develop. Caleb is not fully developed. He's not. Right. Listen, I think Caleb Williams made some amazing strides last year under Ben Johnson. I think he got a lot better, but there is still room to grow. Caleb Williams is going to end up being a 4,000-yard passer and throw over 30 touchdowns in a season. That hasn't happened yet. He's going to get better, but in the development stages of his career, these early stages, going into his second year with the same head coach, the same play caller, they're going to open the playbook up even more to Caleb. He's going to have to learn more terminology. He's going to have to know all the cadence. He's going to have to learn more audibles. There's going to be a ton of work at the line of scrimmage until you feel like he has arrived and he is an NFL vet, a guy who makes people around him better, and he doesn't have to be surrounded by talent, like kind of like the Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill. Like we needed him for the first 3 years of Patrick Mahomes' career. Now that Patrick Mahomes is like an seasoned NFL vet and he knows what he's doing, now we can let Tyreek Hill go and we can win with basically scrubs on the outside. Caleb's not at that point yet. He still needs help from guys like DJ Moore. He still needs help from all these studs to help him develop. Once you feel like he's gotten to the point where you're like, now Caleb makes okay receivers, average receivers better, then you can start considering getting rid of guys like DJ Moore.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll say this. I hope it stops. It just got me fired up because just a little bit before we were on here, I was watching David Hall and Clay Harbor and the chick that they're with. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. And he was given 3 moves the Bears should make. And his number 1 move was trade DJ Moore. And I'm just like, dude, shut up, man. Gee, I turned it off. I'm not even going to watch this shit.
Sean, I'll never understand how you can have a successful season. One of the first in the Chicago history in a very long time, right? I mean, since Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky, you have the successful season, and everybody's solution to this team getting better and pushing, instead of pushing for winning the NFC North and going to the second round of the playoffs, they're pushing for an NFC championship or Super Bowl. And everybody's solution is just trade all your good players. Like, I don't think that's a good solution. I think you want to keep as many of those good players here as you possibly can. I think that's how you improve. But real quick, guys, I just want to say I don't know if this is, I've seen a name similar to this, but I've never seen this exact name. It says Chai Tila for the Bears. I've never seen that name before. Thank you so much for joining the show, man. We appreciate it. Glad you're here, man. Glad to have you on. Please hit that like and subscribe button.
And that Ball Out 5, have we seen him before?
I have not seen Ball Out 5.
Thank you for subscribing, sir.
Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you, man. Chai Till the Killer's ready to talk some draft, man.
We're going to talk some draft. We're going to talk some free agents. You guys want to do draft or free agents? Seems like the chat wants to do draft first.
And Ron, we absolutely love you, Ron. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Ron, man.
Ron's a member, and he's gifted 5 more memberships to 4-star Chicago Wars. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. And then real quick, guys, I don't remember seeing this name either ever here. Sean Route 09. He says successful season. I love how Bears fans' expectations are. I mean, we were in overtime. I don't know, man. Sean, you tell me what you think is. You got to win the Super Bowl, I guess, huh?
What's up, Dano? Welcome to the show, bud. Long time no see, man. I hope you're doing all right, my man.
Hey, look, you know what? You had a 5-win season, and then you had an 11-win season. I don't understand how that's not a success.
No, and then you took the team that went to the NFC Championship game to overtime and could have won that game by kicking a field goal. Unfortunately, obviously, Caleb Williams threw an interception, but you were this close to playing in the NFC Championship against the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, for a second-year quarterback and first-year head coach, I'd say the Bears had a damn good season. I have nothing. There's nothing to be disappointed about for me personally.
Yeah, I don't know, not the goal, but still a very good season.
Yeah, I don't know what people want. Like
Rome wasn't built in a day.
When we were doing these pre-shows, we had the Bears having 8-9 wins, and we were arguing about whether they can make the playoffs or not. They didn't only make the playoffs; they won a damn game. And regardless if it was against the Packers or anybody, they won a playoff game.
But against the Packers makes it even more special. It was even better. It's like not only did we win the NFC North and we won a playoff game, but we knocked the Packers that we ended their season.
A number 2 seed, too, guys. I mean, the only thing we didn't do was win the Super Bowl. We did just about everything else you would want to do in a season.
And I'm with you, J2K. The Bears should have won this, and honestly, that's the only. And Kyle was with me. I think that's kind of why I sat there for 10 minutes and just didn't say a word, because I had to really process the fact that the Bears should have been going to Seattle and they weren't because of just, say, inexperience. I'm just going to put it to inexperience.
You guys, I think the Bears would have told you before the season started. We expect to win. We expect to win now, but there are holes in this roster, and we're going to see throughout this 2025 season where those holes are and how can we fix them in the next offseason. I mean, you guys, we all admitted that the Bears, they need speed on defense, right? We all talked about that before the season. They don't have enough speed on defense. They need to improve the defensive line. They need to improve the pass rush. They need to build up depth in the secondary, considering they're all hurt constantly. Like, there's a lot of things the Bears need to address, but there's only one way to find out what you need to address, right? You got to play a season.
And here I'll say this, Sean, beating the Packers is not a Super Bowl for 4-star Chicago sports.
But damn, did it feel good.
It does.
Damn, did it feel good.
It does feel good, man. But no, I keep seeing Packers fans say that, and it's like, guys, come on. It's
what
for
else
me,
are they going to say?
For meatheads, maybe. Sorry. We got on the Packers. I had to throw that out there.
Sean, who are you a fan of, if you don't mind me? He says, baby brother Bears. I'm assuming you're a Packers fan then, I'm guessing?
I hope you are.
I don't know. I don't know who he's a fan of. I don't know who Sean is.
He's trolling us, dude. That's all it is.
Sean, let's move on, man. Let's talk about some of these.
Well, it wasn't about getting excited. I'm excited because the Bears are headed in a direction we've been waiting for 15 years. The Bears beat the Packers, and all Packers fans say now is, "Oh, that was their Super Bowl." No, maybe it was your guys' Super Bowl, underachieving, but for the Bears, this was a step in the right direction.
I think what he's trying to say, we should just be pissed off about it. Yeah. Like, oh no, God darn it! Why did the Bears win that game? That's stupid.
What's there to be excited about, Sean, is the fact that the future is bright, right? The trajectory is up. The Bears might have the best quarterback in the NFC next year. He might lead the NFC in passing yards and touchdowns. There's a good chance he's going to be in that conversation, especially if Matthew Stafford decides to retire. I mean, look at the quarterbacks in the NFC. The competition is not that great. And if the Detroit has another down year, including Jared Goff, then there's a very good chance Caleb Williams could be competing for an MVP.
How would you rate the Packers?
People are going to laugh at me now.
Was that?
Not you, Sean, the other Sean. I said, how would he rate the Packers season? Is
that
a success for you?
Well, you got to start with that tie to the
Hey, again, man, underachieving versus barely scratching the surface. I don't know.
All right, let's move on.
The Packers win percentage?
Time to move on to other things, to our future. You should rate it a failure. You should rate the entire Jordan Love campaign as a failure, because all he's done is let you guys down, and big moments and big games, and it's not talking smack. It's actually, the proof is in the pudding.
If you give LaFleur a really good quarterback, like watch out, because that's dangerous. I hope they keep Love forever.
Hey, I wouldn't say we're stoked for one playoff win. I think we're stoked at the fact, Sean, that
you guys see this guy wants to keep talking to you.
Of course,
yeah, it's Hey, I'll tell you this. I'll paint my nails
thinks
if he
he's
wins
winning
me
the
a Super
convo,
Bowl.
too.
I don't give a shit. Hey,
Good.
I gotta ask a question because it's really funny because Packers fans say, "Oh, he paints his nails, he does this." You know what, Chicago? When Bulls were winning 6 championships and Dennis Rodman was painting his nails, wearing dresses all around town, wearing wedding dresses and doing all this crazy shit, no one said a word. And I guarantee you, when that Lombardi Trophy's in Chicago and his nails say Super Bowl champs, ain't no one gonna say shit either.
I don't care if
All
he.
right, let's get to the draft. Let's
Yeah,
get give him
I
our
don't
time.
care if he shows up in a banana hammock if he wins the goddamn Super Bowl, man. I
Yeah.
could fucking care less, dude.
Oh boy.
Sean always says that guys like Jordan Love, Dak, Lamar, they're guys who are just good enough to break your heart. That's
That is 100%.
Hey, that draft class, none of those QBs have won a Super Bowl. And now I think Sam Darnold's actually in one right now, so we'll see. But
Ahead of Jordan Love, by the way.
yeah. But Lamar hasn't. I don't even think Lamar's been to one. I don't think they've been to one. Holy
No,
cow!
Lamar hasn't been to one.
And neither has your boy Josh, and neither has Baker.
Nope. No. Sam Darnold, and you know what? As long as we're on it, I'm giving public apology. I thought Sam Darnold was a bum. I thought about Sam Darnold as the Jets. I thought it was KOC that got Sam Darnold over the hump in Minnesota. That boy proved me wrong. He had a phenomenal playoff. On top of having a phenomenal playoff, he had a phenomenal NFC championship game. He stood in the pocket. He made some big time throws. He took some big time hits standing in the pocket too. I take my hat off. Sam Darnold, you earned it. Congratulations to Seattle. That team earned it. Mike McDonald, you guys, congratulations.
Phil, you couldn't put that any worse. Velus Jones is about to play in a Super Bowl. Ugh.
Oh God, I was trying
I
to
don't know if he's active. He wasn't active for the championship game. He may still not be active. He'll still get a ring, but he won't actually play. I don't think.
Do you blame him?
I wouldn't start him.
Oh, dude, there's one of Ron's gifted memberships. M. Myers.
Hey, I'm Myers, man.
Hey,
Thank
going
you.
on,
Thank
brother?
you, Ron.
I love the thumbnail. That'll do,
Yeah.
donkey. That'll do. All right, let's move on, boys.
Yeah, so these guys.
Sean, sorry, guys. Everybody in the chat, they're like draft. Guys, we are going to break down the draft in more detail than you could ever possibly imagine. I don't know if you guys were here last year, but we did each position group for a whole show: defensive tackles, defensive ends, linebackers, safeties, for an entire show, 2-3 hour show. We talk about each, maybe the top 15, 20 safeties in the draft, top 15, 20 receivers in the draft, top 15, 20 tight ends. Today, we're going to dig more into free agency because that's what will be coming first.
Yes, and really quick, just on the draft portion of things, I just want to get out there that I wish the Chicago Bears had a high enough pick to draft Sonny Styles and get this kid on the Chicago Bears. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite player in the 2026 NFL draft. Whoever lands him is landing a gifted, special player. He reminds me.
So he's going to the Eagles.
Yeah, probably, right? He reminds me, and Kyle, you brought this up the other day when we were talking about him, and I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but after you said it, it clicked in my brain, and I was like, holy crap. He does remind me of Brian Urlacher, dude. A safety turned linebacker.
Same size.
And this guy, size, dude. I mean, this guy just sheds blocks. He destroys. This guy is so gosh darn good. I wish he could don the navy and orange for the Bears. So freaking bad, man. This dude. I did want to talk, if you guys don't mind, really quick about a couple of these guys that are on the Bears radar.
Go ahead.
Sean, that's Bears news, man. The Bears they've had multiple interviews with some of these guys.
Shad Banks is a guy that, and for you guys, J2K and Killa, you guys are watching this, watching these things. This guy is climbing up the boards very quickly. He went from undrafted already to the 6th, 7th round. And I have a feeling if he keeps doing what he's doing and has a good combine, this guy might find himself in the 5th round of this draft, might fall to the Chicago Bears right where we need him to, not too late, not too early. But he is definitely climbing up the boards. They said he showed scouts this weekend that he can not only excel on special teams, he's making stops. He made stops in the first 2 kickoffs of the games. And then the scout that I took this from said he was all over the field. He was swallowing up running backs on multiple equations, shedding blocks, making stops at the line of scrimmage. He dipped twice under oncoming linemen to fill the hole, stop running backs. He batted down some passes at the line of scrimmage. He upended a wide receiver in zone coverage over the middle. This guy has 4.4 speed. He's a former junior Olympic USA triple jump champion. And he's a special teams demon. He did miss 2024 with an injury. He does have a shorter wingspan. It's one of his knocks. He has an average missed tackle rate, but as he continues to grow through this draft or through this preseason leading up to the draft, this might be a guy that the Bears keep their eye on. Another guy.
Sean, real quick before you move on to the next guy, they just have a couple questions for you, man.
Sure.
Phil asked where Sonny Styles is projected.
Oh, Sonny Styles is
10,
probably
right?
going to go somewhere in the top 10 would be my guess.
And then Sean Romey asks, would you trade our 25th pick and a late round pick for pick 33 and pick 44?
You know what? That's really interesting, Ronnie.
For Sonny Styles?
No, she's just asking you if you
just trade for picks, which is something that Poles is like. He did a lot last year in the draft. He traded down, and remember, we wound up with those 3 second-round picks. All of them, well, besides Turner, we don't really know what's going to happen there. But those 3 picks, actually, 2 of them wound up being pretty damn good. So don't be surprised if he does trade down out of the first round. Out of the first round might be a little bit too much because you're going to lose that 5th-year option on the guy. But we need picks too. And I was just thinking about it earlier. I like Ian Cunningham, but I would not mind if he goes to Atlanta because I think we get 2 3rd-round compensatory picks for him. So,
well, Sean, I can tell you this.
I
can tell you this, Sean. The chat all agrees with you. Everybody in here seems to be a big Sonny Styles fan.
Dude, he is so good. Like, if you just put his tape on television and watch it, I mean, he literally jumps off the screen. I don't even understand how he's not a top 5 pick in this draft. Honestly, I don't.
I mean, Sean, I think every guy you draft every year, every guy you draft should be, even if it's a shitty small school you draft him from, should be the guy whose name is mentioned the most.
He's mentioned the most.
And if you watch Ohio State, it's like Sonny Styles, Sonny Styles, Sonny Styles, Sonny Styles. Like, Jesus, this guy is all over the place, dude.
He's really good. There's another Buckeye. And for you guys that are really into this draft stuff, I'm a big fan of Caden Curry as well. Defensive tackle, can put his hand in the dirt, can stand up on the edge. He can play multiple positions, and we all know that's something that Dennis Allen really likes, the versatility in his defense. The other guy that was put up, and I believe it was Daniel Jeremiah. There was 2 draft experts that connected the Bears to Dylan. I believe you say his last name, Thieneman. He is a safety out of Oregon. This kid is a high IQ player who possesses quickness, triggers downhill with confidence in the run game, good feel for coverage in both zone and man. He's a big hit guy. A lot of mock drafts having him going in the 2nd round, but a couple of the drafts that I saw had him at the 25th pick. I looked on 3 different scouts sites that said this kid is an immediate starter in the NFL. He's a violent finisher on tackles, over 2,400 snaps at the University of Penn State, active at the catch point, instinctive in coverage, great at shedding blocks. His biggest knock is they say he's not the biggest safety, and he has a little bit of problems with his consistency and his pursuit angles, and has a little problem in coverage and play action. But with this coaching staff that the Bears have, I have a feeling this is something that the Bears coaches can work and excel, especially.
Oh, that's a pretty big hit there. I don't know what the hell people are talking about. He's killed a guy.
No, they said he's a violent hitter. And I'm very excited. I would be very excited myself if the Bears would align a big-time safety in this draft to replace, obviously Jaquan Brisker, another Big Ten safety. Another guy we got here. This one's about to wrap up here. There he goes, picking it off. The other guy that has been on a lot, and someone mentioned him in the chat already, was Caden McDonald. I think, Jay, you mentioned him earlier. He's rising up the boards. He's pretty – they're saying he's more inconsistent than the consensus suggests, but he has – high-end play. His high-end plays are jaw-dropping. I watched this kid at Ohio State all year. There's a tape out there of him against Indiana and Michigan. Go watch that tape, and you'll be sold on this kid securing himself as a first-round draft pick. He is no Jordan Davis, but he does eat it up. And all you have to do is ask Sonny Styles and Avril Reese what kind of space this guy ate up for them, and how they were able to operate behind him. So
you know what, Sean? He's an elite run blocker. He only had 3 sacks, but he had 9 tackles for loss on, I think, 65 total tackles. So if you're looking for a run stuffer, this is probably the best guy in the draft at stopping the run. That's what I was talking about earlier, and what I think we can replace him. We can replace Billings and Dexter and get this guy and still have money left over to go pick up a free agent if we want.
Yeah, and to piggyback onto that, Jay, he finished with a 91.2 run defensive grade, and he finished among the tops in the country with a 3.3% missed tackle rate, which is insane. He had a missed tackle. Yeah.
And by the way, he's doing it with a 300-pounder on one arm and then tackling the dude with another arm.
Yep, and the other thing, his stop rate in 2025 was top of the class too, 13.8%. So this is a kid, again, Kyle, Jay, we've been doing these drafts together. I like kids from big-time schools that do big-time things, that play in big-time games against big-time opponents. So give me Buckeyes, give me LSU, give me Bama, give me Georgia. These are the guys that I want that come from a winning pedigree. If Caden Curry is there a little bit later, he's another defensive tackle. Where is this Caden Curry tape? Caden Curry, he's another guy that just eats up space. Look at him just ball through that line. Look at how fast he is getting across in his pursuit for the running back in the backfield. These are guys that I just love. And Ohio State had one of the best defenses. Again, Caden Curry could play on the edge. He could put his hand in the dirt. He's another versatile player, a guy that Dennis Allen covets in his defense. Also, going a little bit later in the draft, he's more coveted as a third-round pick. So if Ian Cunningham does sign, we have that extra third-round pick. This is a guy that could be around for us and help us on this D-line. So, and again, as we get deeper into all this, we're going to break these guys down so much in depth. It's just so early in the game. We have the Senior Bowl coming this weekend. It's been fun watching these practices the last couple of days. We watched the East-West Shrine game last night at River Street while we were at darts. We're going to continue to just break this down because I'm excited. Just myself personally, there's so many names in this draft. Kamari Ramsey, the safety out of USC, Zion Young, Romello Height, the kid from Illinois. You guys touched a little bit on him on Monday, Gabe Yakis. Dude, this kid is blowing up right now at the Senior Bowl. He is having apparently he is one of the top 3 players there. Outside linebacker, also can play the edge, dual threat, versatility again. Kind of looking for guys that Dennis Allen would like to have in multiple positions on his defensive line. But keep an eye on this kid as he continues to grow. I would love to get an Illinois kid here. Another guy that I'm really excited, and I think J2K put his name out, is Lee Hunter, a guy that could be around for the Bears in that second round, maybe even the third round. He is also having a big-time senior week. This guy is a bowling ball of muscle, low center of gravity, total math changer in the run defense. He's his one-on-one blocks here, and I know J2K's probably seen them, but his one-on-one blocks this week have been outstanding. He holds up against double teams. 10.6% pass rush win rate is higher than the higher guys in this draft, Caleb Banks, McDonald, and Peter Woods. So this is a kid that people should be watching. 3 years of production. Namde Tucker on the edge out of Western Michigan is another one. Dennis Sutton out of Penn State, another guy. Derek Moore is another guy from Michigan, another edge who's having a tremendous week at the Senior Bowl. So just keep these
Sean,
guys.
You know who I like on edge?
Who's
I don't think you mentioned him. TJ Parker out of Clemson.
TJ Parker. The reason I didn't mention him is because the Bears have no shot at him.
Yeah, they probably don't, but he's like he's
a
ranked
stud.
like the 3rd or 4th defensive end, so he could possibly go later in that first round. But when I look at him, what sticks out to me is his high relative athletic score, which I keep saying all the time, but that's something that not Dennis Allen, I'm sorry, Poles really looks forward to. And if you look at his size, he's 6'3" and 265. That is like prototypical Dennis Allen guy. So, I don't know if they're going to trade up or whatever, but you're probably right. He's probably going to go in the top 15, but it's possible. I saw a lot of mock drafts have a lot of linebackers, not a whole lot of defensive tackles. I think 1 or 2 quarterbacks. This is not a really strong quarterback draft. Not as strong guys as it was last year.
100%.
We'll dive into it later, but that's a guy that they might want to reach for. If Dennis Allen, if that's their priority is defense and they want to reach for a guy, don't be surprised if that's somebody they try to reach for.
Yeah, and I before we move on from this topic really quick, and Kyle, let me know if anyone's asking questions. We'll try and get.
I mean, they're just talking about guys in the draft. They are agreeing with you on some of these guys.
Yeah,
this is my second favorite guy in this draft. If he's not my second, he's definitely in my top 5, and it's Zakai Wheatley. I love this kid, man. Like, I really love this kid. Here's some tape on him. Watch this kid from start to finish. He's a ball magnet. Dude just knows how to find the football. He knows how to read quarterbacks well. He jumps routes, creates turnovers. He's a reliable tackler. Not such just a highlight for safety, but just a highlight reel in general. He plays mentally fast. He has a high football IQ, diagnoses run versus pass quickly, puts himself in position to continue to win on the field. He's a versatile chess piece. He can play deep, rotate down into the box, cover tight ends or slots. He's very scheme flexible, size range combo, legit size to be a safety, but another guy you might be able to make a hybrid linebacker as well. Big time game performer. If you look at his box scores, when Penn State played the best, his light shined the brightest. He didn't disappear in the big moments. This guy is a gamer. The fact that this dude is going so late in the draft is very surprising to me, especially coming out of Penn State, because this dude just knows where to be on the football field. I love this kid a lot. I have seen a couple of mock drafts in the last couple of days that actually had the Chicago Bears taking this kid, and that would be awesome if they did. And yes, J2K, I agree. Zion Young is another one. He's having a tremendous week. He's another guy that the Bears might be able to find. They might be able to find his way on the Chicago Bears down the road. I agree with you 100%. But Wheatley, I love this kid, and this will be a perfect replacement if you could get him late in that second round, maybe even in the third round, because I've seen him in some drafts go in the third round, which again is surprising to me. And guys, I'm going to say this. All these things can change, because what you have is when the combine comes up and these guys post these amazing scores, their draft stock goes up. We all know how this game works. So what did James say? Unless we draft Wheatley in the second, we have no chance in him. And that could be true. I saw a couple of drafts. There was a mock draft today by Nick Wayland, who had Zakai Wheatley going in the third round. Like I said, stock's going to change as the combine comes, and they put up these numbers, and people love the underwear Olympics and base their draft on him. And J2K says Wheatley, average build, good size, average length, playmaker on the ball, multiple interceptions and fumbles, good closing speed, more of a deep safety, can mirror receivers, limited ceiling, but very high floor. I agree with that. I like that if we draft him, J2K, looks like he's going to have a year with Al Harris. And a year with Al Harris, with this kid, I think he might outplay his draft position. That's just my personal opinion, though. That's just my personal opinion. All
right. Well, the only way to know who we're going to need in the draft, Sean, is just after we figure out who the Bears sign free agency.
Absolutely, you guys. I want you guys to start because I just rambled on for 20 minutes. So you guys take away free agency, and I'll follow you up. I gotta get a drink.
Go ahead, Jason. All right, I'll start. Yeah, so you guys, a couple of the guys I did I'm not necessarily saying these are realistic options for the Bears. I'm just telling you who's out there. Some, obviously the Bears' notable holes on this roster, the guys that they're probably going to put the most resources into in the offseason is defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, and safety. It's going to be mostly on defense. I don't know what's going to happen in the left tackle situation. That the Bears are going to have to sign one or draft one at some point, but I don't know. It's just hard to speculate. I don't know exactly what kind of resources they're going to allocate to that position, but we kind of went over some linebackers, free agency. We went over some defensive ends. We know some defensive tackles, so on and so forth. So one of the guys who's going to be a free agent this season, guys, is the guy who played for the Lions last season, DJ Reader. He is 6'3", 335 pounds. He's 31 years old, and he is a true nose tackle number. He's a one technique. He's projected to earn $12 to $15 million this year, so he might be a little bit out of the Bears' price range. His strengths are he's one of the best no tackle in the league at holding the point of attack, extremely hard to move off of his spot, routinely eats double teams, excellent at clogging interior gaps and forcing runners to bounce outside for the linebacker to clean him up, tremendous lower body strength and leverage, rarely gets driven backwards, even by strong interior offensive linemen, sets a physical tone up front. So basically what they're saying is his strengths are going to be in the run game. This guy, you bring this guy in to stop the run. He's not a huge pass rush guy. He's not getting a ton of sacks. I don't think he had any last year at all. He has had some in his career in the past, but the older he gets, the sack numbers continue to go down. Some of his weaknesses is he's not a natural penetrator or sack producer, like we just said. He's not there necessarily to upset the timing of the offense. He's not going to create a ton of pressure up front. Relies mostly on a bull rush, lacks advanced pass rush counters, more about collapsing the pocket than finishing plays. He best fits nose tackle at a 3-4, but he has played a 4-3 for years and has played well. So that weakness to me when I was reading his profile was a little strange to me. Less impactful in systems that demand interior linemen to consistently rush the passer. So if you're not looking for both of your guys to basically play 3 technique and get after the quarterback, you're 1 and 3 to get after the quarterback. He's less. If you're looking for that type of production, he's less impactful on those types of teams. But the Bears do need a good run stopper. Jason talked about it earlier. One of the worst teams in the NFL at stopping the run. And if you can run the ball on a team, you can beat them. PFF scores over the last 3 years, guys, he has gone down. So in 2023, he had an overall 82.2, a pass rush of 79.1, and his run defense of 75.3 on 535 snaps played. Last year, in 2025, his overall was 68.4, pass rush was 71.8, and run defense was 61.7. So he actually struggled in run defense last year, but there was a lot of strange things going on with that Lions teams. It's hard to predict exactly where the problems were coming from. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be DJ Reader's fault. I think he still can have an impact in the NFL. Last year, had 18 slow tackles, 0 sacks, 20 pressures, and 15 run stops. The 15 run stops is what's important because that's what you bring him in for. Over the last 3 seasons, he's had 22 run stops, 15 run stops, and 13 run stops. So this guy stuffs the run, and he does actually get to the running back in the backfield at times. He does create negative plays. Listen, DJ Reader's getting old. The reason I put him on my list, guys, is let's face it, the Bears aren't going to have a ton of money to spend in free agency. You're not going to see the best defensive tackle available come to Chicago. The Bears are now a team that I consider to be a destination that a lot of players would like to play because I think a lot of players in the NFL could see the Bears winning a Super Bowl in the next 3 or 4 years. If you can get this guy on a cheaper deal, like probably closer to 10 million instead of 12 or 15, to maybe a 1-2 year deal, he's definitely somebody I would consider if the Bears don't want to bring Andrew Billings back.
Yeah, that DJ Reader is good, and the only thing that really worries about me is his age. But again, if he's going to produce, 33 is not like the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
He's still got probably 3 or 4 more good years in him. But you're right, you're not going to sign him for a long term. And we were talking about it before the show in the little group chat about man, the defensive tackles aren't that like great, and it's mostly because of their age. And some of these guys are probably going to be re-signed. So some of these guys we're bringing up to you may not actually wind up even being free agents when it's all said and done. For me, what I was looking for, I was looking at age, I was looking at affordability, and then, of course, production. Because I don't think unless we get, a Trey Hendrickson, which I don't know if I really like Trey Hendrickson that much, especially coming off an injury. And then, or of course, Max Crosby. Who else are you really going to get? You're probably going to wind up overpaying for like a Deo Otabango, which you don't want to do anymore, right? And one of the guys that came up to me, sorry, not my favorite player so far in the draft, in the free agency, but Clavon Chazon. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but that defensive end for New England. He started off with the Jaguars, didn't have that great of a season, but he had a really good year in 24 with the Raiders and a pretty damn good year so far with the Patriots. He's probably a little undersized for what Dennis Allen wants. He's 6'3", like 245, but he is only 26 years old, and his PFF score isn't great, right? It's only a 60. But if you look at his production, he's got 17 solo tackles, he's got 9 sacks, 4 assisted sacks, and then 2 forced fumbles. And if you look at it, he generated a team high 6 pressures and 1 sack on just 40 pass rushes in the divisional round against the Texans. And 4 of those 6 pressures came in under 2.5 seconds, what they qualify as a quick pressure. that was tied for most in a game in his career. So he's obviously on the upward slope. My big fear here is that New England might re-sign him. His last contract was $3 million. Okay, so the production for the money is outrageous. If you look at it, I think basically for him, it's all about production. And I think this guy, his 60.4 PFF rating, is probably going to be closer and above 70 by the time 2026 is over. But I got a sneaking suspicion that New England's just going to come in and sign him. Now, I don't know if they're going to give him another 1-year deal because that seems to be his deal now, but they could easily snag him up for a couple of years and get him for pretty cheap, because right now, if he's on the up and up, I think this is now when you want a guy like this, because he could wind up being a stolen gem. And by the way, I almost see him, he's not a defensive tackle, but I see him like an Akeem Hicks type of guy where, pretty average production, but kind of getting better and better. And then when he hit the Bears, he was just phenomenal, just a nightmare for quarterbacks. So that's why I put him on my list. I don't know what you guys think.
I will say, I like him a lot. Jason, I agree with you. It would be awesome if you could land on the Bears, but he's definitely going to be more expensive than $3 million a year after the season he just had. I think he's going to get a contract very similar to Deo. Very similar to Deo.
Yeah, I agree. 15, 20 million a year, maybe.
Yeah, for a pass rush that good, who like Jason said, did that in the playoffs, the divisional round where it matters most. I mean, there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a little bit of a bidding war for that guy if the Patriots decide not to franchise tag him, and if the Patriots do franchise tag him, they're going to have to pay him well over $15 million.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were happy, or someone in here actually said that they wanted Khalil Mack back. He's the answer for the pass rush for the Bears. I don't know how I feel about that personally, but
if he's really cheap, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
A lot of people are saying that, Sean, because he came out and said after the season was over that he came out and had. Did you guys see that little speech he gave where he talked about how much he loved playing in Chicago and how much the city meant to him and how
I
much
did not
in his career? Yeah, I think a lot of people heard that, and he's basically saying, "I would love to go back to Chicago," and are just hearing that and kind of like hoping it, wishing it to existence, because I think if the Bears asked Khalil, "Hey, you want to come back to Chicago?" he would say yes in a heartbeat. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl, man.
On a cheap deal. On a cheap deal.
Yeah, like I said, man, you guys. While we're talking about all these free agents, do you guys not agree that Chicago has become a pretty vaunted destination?
It's a hotbed now. It's a hotbed now.
Once you get a quarterback, these guys are like, I want to go to that team because they can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%. Sticking with the D line, my guy is John Franklin Myers from the Denver Broncos, 29 years old, coming off 8 sacks, coming off a 2-year, $15 million deal, $8 million guaranteed in that contract. I looked it up today. Sports Track is suggesting he's looking for 3 years, $35 million. Some other projections suggested he would be okay with a 2-year, $25 million deal. We'll have to just wait and see how that pans out. This kid finished 5th in sacks for interior defensive linemen this year, 7th in sacks in 24, 16 sacks in 34 games for the Broncos. He's just a versatile, high motor defensive lineman whose pass rushing skills are elite, and he has an easy time creating pressure. Now, it could be on that Denver Broncos line, but I still think there's pieces here for the Bears that he can definitely help the Bears. He's also very physical at the point of attack in the run game. A little bit more known as a sack specialist than a run specialist. He finished 25th in interior lineman in rush grade this year. So not the best, but not the worst either. And it was 25th out of 89. So not the worst, but not the best. He had 39 pressures in 2025, which put him in 18th out of 134 interior linemen that was ranked for. So again, a guy who's 29 years old, a guy you can sign to a 2-3 year deal. You're going to get him in his prime. We looked this up. Prime time for defensive linemen is 28 to 32. You would sign him to a 3-year deal. You'd be getting rid of him right now when his prime's going past. So I like John Franklin Myers. Again, there's a lot of money allocated in the Denver Broncos defensive line and offensive line right now. So this is a player they might not be able to bring back due to restraints, salary restraints. We'll have to wait and see. But a piece I think that would do the Chicago Bears very, very well. Who you got next, guys?
Yeah, I mean, next I'm going to stick to the defensive line here. There's a reason I put this guy on the list, guys. The reason I did is because the Bears, like we talked about, they're not necessarily in the best position when it comes to salary, and obviously that's going to change as they restructure these contracts, so on and so forth. But a guy who could earn up to $20 million a year, $25 million a year, based off of his skill set, but probably will be looking closer to 10 to 15 a year due to his injury past is Jalen Phillips. So you guys know Jalen Phillips played on Miami Dolphins, was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles last year. He's done his best work under Vic Fangio, whether it be in Miami or in Philadelphia. So a good coach is really important to him. He does have some emotional issues, I guess. He sees he has a team therapist that he sees every week. He just feels, I guess they said they had this conversation where they basically said he never felt like he met his peak or his ceiling due to all the injuries, but he was healthy last year for the first time since his first and second season. Jalen Phillips is 6'5", 266 pounds. He's 26 years old, so he's still relatively young, and he's considered to be one of the best edge rushers available this offseason. Like I said, he's looking for anywhere from $15 to $25 million per year, according to over the cap. And from what they're saying is due to the injuries, it's probably going to be closer to the 15 than 25. His strength is he's elite physical traits. He's outstanding athleticism, rare combination of speed, size, and explosiveness for an edge rusher, long arms, great first step, and rapid burst to the quarterback. Pressure ability has generated consistent pressure when healthy, including breaking Miami's rookie sack record and getting 158 pressures in his career before the 2025 trade. Some of the weaknesses they talk about here, guys, are obvious. The biggest concern is the injuries. He had an Achilles tear followed by an injury that limited him in 2023 to 2024. Of his, I think, 8 seasons now, only 3 of them has he played all 17 games. Even at UCLA, he dealt with a ton of injuries before entering the NFL. So this is kind of a high risk, high reward type player. And that's something we've seen Ryan Poles do in the past. Like basically, maybe if we sign him to 12, 14, $15 million a year, he can come here. If he stays healthy, he'll be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. They say if he does stay healthy for 17 seasons, part of his strengths here is they do expect him at some point to make Pro Bowls or be an All-American. The only concerns they have for technique is he can play high off the snap, give up leverage, and lose the edge, reducing effectiveness. His PFF scores over the last couple of seasons, guys, in 2025 have overall 74, pass rush of 77.1. His run defense was 59.4, so he's not particularly great at stopping the run. But he's better. It says in his profile that he's better than more people give him credit for. His stats last year, he had 819 snaps. Like I said, he played all 17 games. Solo tackles 34, sacks 5, pressures 73, which is remarkable, and stops 31. He is kind of one of those guys that he's more of a pressure guy than he is finishing the job sack guy. But I think with Dennis Allen in the right scheme, you could probably get more out of him. The reason I put him in here, guys, is like I said, this is just the best bang for your buck if he stays healthy, because you're going to be able to pay him less than most premier edge rushers get because of the injury past. And if he stays healthy, you could get damn good production out of him. 73 pressures is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good dude to add to your roster. My guy here, it's a long shot. I don't even know if he's really going to wind up leaving his team, to be perfectly honest with you. If it's a guy that the Chargers traded for with Baltimore early in the season or mid-season, and that's Odafe Owe. He's got a pretty decent PFF score, 73.7. His pressure rate is really good. He's honestly almost a pure edge rusher. I think out of his 470 some odd snaps, I think he played like a quarter of them against the run, but the rest were all against the pass rush. Not stellar sack numbers with 7.5 sacks, but his size, again, 27 years old, so he's young. His size, 6'5", 257. He's coming off, I think, like a 10 sack year in 24, but only 7.5 this year. So his production went down a little bit. Now, what's interesting here is obviously the whole Khalil Mack thing, right? If Khalil Mack leaves, they may want to, sign this guy. He was on his 5th-year option last year at like $9.75 million. I don't know if they're going to sign him or if he's going to have contract issues and maybe he wants a little bit more than they're willing to pay. But again, they did trade for him, so they might have a vested interest in him already. But the guy is a stud. I mean, 6'5", 257 pounds. I think he's, again, that Dennis Allen prototype on the edge there. He's got elite athleticism. He's one of those guys. I think his relative athletic score is like a 9.92 out of a possible 10, which is like basically 12th best defensive end out of 1,300 players. Like he's literally a freak athlete. Now, it hasn't really, produced as many sacks as you might like, but he is getting pressures. Now, I know that sounds a lot like Deo, right? So, it might be putting a few people off.
Well, real quick, not to interrupt you, I'll let you finish 1 second, but
Yeah.
James talked about how these guys are all similar to Dale. Well, you guys, unfortunately, because of the Bears' salary cap constraints, you're not going to get like Max Crosby is probably not an option for the Bears. They don't have $41 million to spend on one player, so that's why we're talking about these guys who are guys who are more potential than they are proven players. Because anybody who's a proven player wants $25 million a year. That's what guaranteed.
If I piggyback, and then I just put it in the chat, but I messed up the and. Deo's never had 73 pressures and 57 quarterback hits in a season.
Yeah.
Ever.
Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
No, so what I was trying to say is here's all right. So in 2024, we set a career high with 10 sacks. He had 9 tackles for loss and 23 quarterback hits, right? Great season. His performance in the latter half of 2025, when he went with the Chargers, he got 7.5 sacks in 12 games and had a standout playoff performance, but obviously they lost that game. He excels when he's not the sole focus. And honestly, again, I'm still pretty surprised at Montez Sweat, how he finished that second half of the season. So he might actually do well paired up with, Austin Booker, a Montez Sweat. He benefits more from playing alongside like other high caliber pass rushers, obviously Khalil Mack and who's that Tuli Pluto or whatever from Chargers.
All the players Jason's talking about are like impossible to pronounce their name.
I know. I killed myself. It's terrible. But honestly, I think he's a really good fit. I mean, that the thing that sticks out for me, and you really look at all these players that polls looks for. I'm telling you, he's very high on that relative athletic score. So I don't know if this guy leaves the Chargers, but I guarantee he's definitely somebody that's on Poles' radar. He had a 4.37 40-yard dash, a 36-inch vertical, and a 10-foot 7-inch broad jump. I mean, the guy is a freak athlete. Now, so was Khalil Mack, but Khalil Mack's also a little bit older. So if I were going to take an edge rusher from the Chargers, I'm going for Owe.
I like Owe a lot.
How old is he?
27.
Oh yeah, I like him more than Khalil.
I like Owe. I like Owe a lot. I like Owe a lot.
Yeah.
I guess I guess
the RAS score is insane. Those the 4.37, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That's why. Look, he's probably going to stick with the Chargers. Let's be honest, but.
We'll stick with the trade theme here, Jay. Aloha Gilman is the next guy, the safety out of Baltimore. I know he's expressed his desire to stay in Baltimore, with the coaching staff saying a new defensive coordinator, a new scheme fit. Maybe he's not going to be staying in Baltimore. Who is Aloha Gilman? Gilman is a highly instinctive, intelligent, physical safety known as being super strong in run support, high motor play style, reliable tackler, primarily serving as a box safety, sub-package defender, and he excels at reading the quarterback, playing downhill, and making impact in zone coverage. This guy was traded to the Ravens midseason from the Chargers in the Owe trade. It's funny how that worked out. But when he did that allowed Zach Orr to shift Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage and let Kyle Hamilton be a little bit more free in the defense, because Gilman was taking care of some of the responsibilities that Hamilton was on the field. So this is a versatile piece, kind of a Swiss Army knife that you can plug in to the system. His previous contract was 2 years, $10 million. This is a high football IQ starter. Could be, sub-package guy, but they're saying right now his contract, he's looking for somewhere in between a 2-year, $10 to $15 million contract. If you break that down, that's right in the Bears' boat, somewhere between $3 to $5 million for a box safety. A kid who is strong in run support. He actually had a down 24. He bounced back in 25. He was really good in coverage, run support, and his coverage grade were both outstanding. Again, down in 24. He was way high, 23 being his best season. Came down 24, went back up in 25, playing in that scheme in Baltimore. So Gilman's a kid that I love. He's right in that Bears price range with the little money that we have, looking for about $5 million a year, a guy at the high end. Now, markets can always change. People can get in bidding wars. You can sign somewhere 7, 8, 9, 10 million. Then you're not going to be doing that when you have, I believe it's 28 million tied up between Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. So you're looking for some small deals right now as it stands, according to Sports Track. That's what he's looking for. That fits in the Bears budget for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, another guy I want to talk about, man, a linebacker here. You guys, another guy who is, you could probably take advantage of the fact that he's had some injury woes in his career and he's probably not going to be earn as much money as he'd like. But Nakobe Dean's a free agent, 5'11", 231 pounds. He's 25 years old. He's the Mike off the ball linebacker for Philadelphia Eagles. He's projected to earn $9 to $13 million per year. Experts say it's going to be closer to 9 due to the injuries, but his profile, his strengths are elite quickness and processing, diagnosis, plays quickly, sees run concepts and route combinations early. Rare anticipation for young linebacker, often beats blockers to the spot with his brain, not brute force. They say he's probably one of the best blitzing linebackers in the NFL and one of the best at getting to the quarterback. He's just not a full-time player, so the numbers don't back it up. His speed and range is smooth, fast mover with excellent pursuit angles, close quickly on outside runs and screens, flies sideline to sideline when kept clean. Like I said, guys, this is a guy who's been basically spent his whole career as a part-time player. If he did play full-time all season, they think he would. Their experts believe he would be one of the best linebackers in the NFL. He's the defensive signal caller traits dating back to Georgia, vocal, confident, and assignment sound, trusted to make adjustments pre-snap. His weaknesses are his size and play strength, undersized for an NFL Mike, can struggle taking on guards head up, gets displaced if linemen get clean hands on him. His biggest concern so far, like we talked about, is his durability. He's missed plenty of time in the NFL since he's been drafted, but this is a guy, like I said, it's the best bang for your buck. So if you sign him to a cheap contract, $9 million a year linebacker, like we said, Tremaine Edmonds right this year is projected to make, I think, 17. If you sign him for $9 million this year and he stays healthy, he could be a huge player for the Chicago Bears. His PFF scores the last couple of seasons, 2025 overall, 61.7, pass rush, 92.3 for a linebacker is amazing. Run defense, 42.9. His coverage is 63. He had played 403 total snaps last season, 43 solo tackles, 4 sacks, 10 pressures, 23 run stops, and allowed a passer rating of 88. 2024 was a good season, guys. That's when he played almost the entire season. He played 75.3 overall pass or PFF grade, pass rush 82.5, run defense 80, so much better against the run in 2024 when he was healthy. His coverage did suffer. That's probably his biggest weakness as an NFL linebacker, is coverage. Total snaps in 2024 is 857, so played almost the entire season. He had 93 total solo tackles, and he didn't play full time. So you're talking a guy who's going to be well over 100 tackles if you let him play a full-time linebacker. 3 sacks, 14 quarterback pressures, 56 run stops in 2024 as a off the ball linebacker. The only problem in 2024 is his rating allowed for the quarterbacks was 115, which is it's scary. But I mean, for a guy, if he's willing to take less money due to his injury past, this is a guy who's athletic and he's a freak of nature. And if he could stay healthy, he would be a damn good linebacker for the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've all seen him, right? He had a hell of a Super Bowl, right? I mean, that's pretty good.
If the Bears could somehow get Nakobe Dean here, I would be ecstatic, man.
I'm with you. I like Nakobe Dean a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, 93 tackles playing part-time, because the Eagles had so many damn good linebackers. Nobody could play full-time. There was not a single player who played almost 100% of the snaps for the Eagles that year. 93 tackles while playing 73% of the snaps. That's a guy I would consider getting in Chicago if you can. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to say it again. I don't dislike the guy, but I think if you're talking about all the cut candidates on the Chicago Bears, Tremaine Edmonds is probably at the top of their list. He saves you the most money, and he's just not special. He's not.
Yeah, he didn't do anything crazy, and he's not, he's not a leader of a defense, so it's not like you absolutely have to have him on your team. Actually, speaking of Edmonds, a guy I think also that could maybe replace him is a guy over in Jacksonville. He actually has been in the league for 4 years, and Jacksonville just declined his 5th-year option. Now, one of the problems is I think he might be looking for a little bit too much money, but if the price is right and we can nab him and he wants to sign here, it's great. And that guy's name is Devin Lloyd. He's got an 89.1 overall grade on PFF. He's 6'3", 225. Again, fairly young, 27 years old. So I think he's a year older or right around the same age as Edmonds. Now, in 22, 23, and 24, he was more of a run stuffer. He had literally 3 years in a row with over 100 tackles, 115 in 22, 127 in 23, and 113 in 24. Now, in 25, he did only play 15 games, and his tackles did go down to 74. However, he had 1.5 sacks, 5 interceptions, and when he's in coverage or dropping into coverage, he only gave up a 51.2 quarterback rating to opposing quarterbacks. So what really sticks out to me here with this guy is he's a proven run stuffer, he's a proven tackler, and he's a proven pass defender. And that's something that really I don't think the Bears have combined in a linebacker on their staff right now. Now, again, the biggest problem is going to be, what is he going to want to ask for? I believe that 5th-year option that Jaguars turned down was 14.5 or 14.7 million, but it looks like he might be projected in between that 9 to like $14 million range. I think because of some of his numbers here, it may be closer to maybe 12. So it's not going to be a cheap pickup for the Bears, but I think it's definitely somebody who can come in and give us an immediate lift in pass defense, because God knows we actually need it at linebacker. We need a lot of linebackers, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think it was Shai Tilly here said we need to re-sign DeMarco Jackson, and I agree. I think that guy earned himself a second contract.
I agree.
Especially for what he's going to be asking. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer, and the familiarity with Dennis Allen and his defense. I mean, how well DeMarco Jackson played for the Chicago Bears. Even if he's just like your immediate backup or a relief guy, rotation guy, there's no reason for the Chicago Bears not to bring back DeMarco Jackson. I'm telling you guys, I said it here first. Tremaine Edmonds, I think, has one foot out the door, man. I really do, man.
But he has appeal. Other teams will want him because, look, he did have 5 interceptions before he got hurt. He's got speed and athleticism. He's got a long reach. He's got like traits that teams are going to want. He's not a free agent either, so we would have to try to package him. Or
they're gonna cut. I think they're gonna cut him because he's only guaranteed $2 million this next year. So you're that's all the dead cap you're gonna eat. You're gonna save over $15 million by cutting him, and you'll eat $2 million at dead cap. It's nothing against Tremaine, but Sean talked about it a million times, right? When your GMs get into situations where it becomes much, much tougher to find space,
can't keep everybody, man.
You got to let some of these guys go. And Tremaine Edmonds, to me personally, guys, and like I said, I don't dislike him. I like Tremaine Edmonds, but he's not spectacular. Right. He's not a guy you're like, oh man, if we lose Tremaine Edmonds, this team's going to change completely. They look the same to me with DeMarco Jackson on the field or TJ Edwards than they do.
Maybe slightly better.
I mean, it's just to me personally. And I'm glad that the chat brought it up, guys. Obviously, the Bears are probably going to be without TJ Edwards to start the season, considering that was one of the worst bone breaks I've ever seen in my life, dude.
But at least it was a bone break, so he's coming back stronger,
Yeah, and he's under contract, so he'll still be here. But I do expect him to at least miss preseason at training camp, if not the first few games of the season.
Oh yeah, we're gonna stick with this linebacker train because one of my favorite guys is gonna be a free agent, and fortunately for us, due to salary cap restraints, the Kansas City Chiefs will not be able to re-sign Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal is an amazing, amazing linebacker. He was a guy that I coveted coming into the league back in 22. And since his first full season as a Chiefs linebacker in 23, 24, and 25, he's finished 19th overall, 13th overall, and 5th overall, ranked out of 88 linebackers in the league. On top of that, he's very well balanced in production. Run defense, 74.7 grade in his career. Coverage, 73.8. And last year, he allowed just 111 yards on 9 catches while snagging an interception and holding quarterbacks to a 70.8 passer rating on throws into his coverage, which was the 5th best mark for linebackers. He's a high volume tackler. He's an effective blitzer. Yeah, he can shed blocks. He diagnoses plays quickly. High impact in the run game, like I just stated. And the thing I like about him, and again, this is from Sports Tracks. I looked this up. They said he's looking for somewhere between 5 to 7 million annually. He's seeking a 3-year contract overall, somewhere between $15 and $18 million. Again, Bears are going to have to move some things around, but here's a guy that, for me personally, changes your defense. Instant starter, instant impact the moment he hits the field. I love this kid. I hope if he doesn't end up on the Bears, he doesn't end up anywhere else in the NFC North, because from everything I've read over the past couple of days, he will not be ending up back in Kansas City.
I like him a lot, Sean.
Yeah.
You definitely have to find. You have to be creative to make space for him. But if the Bears could find a way to get him, that's probably your best bet at linebacker this offseason. Like I said, I love Nakobe Dean, but at some point the injury's got to start to scare you a little bit, right? I mean, it's at some point a pattern becomes just who you are.
Matt says we got to start saving money for Caleb.
And whether you like Ryan or not, man, one thing Poles has done is he has structured all these contracts so that when Caleb is due his extension, all these contracts should be off the books. The Bears are going to, I think, when the year that Caleb's due his extension, so that'd be his 4th year before his 5th year option. I think the Bears salary cap is going to be, there'll be like 122 million or something like that. It's insane. But you guys, such where I was talking about linebackers, another guy I didn't put as much time.
Kyle, really quick.
What's up?
I just want to answer J2K. Anthony Hill is a guy that I definitely agree with you 100%. A guy that could fall to the Bears.
You guys are going to ruin our draft shows, bro.
Yeah.
We have nothing to talk about.
No, I was going to say I was actually watching his tape yesterday, and I started doing a little piece on him, and I was actually very impressed. I haven't done a full dive into Anthony Hill, but what I've seen so far, I really, really do like J2K. That is a guy I'm keeping my eye on. And Paul, there's like 6 dudes from Texas Tech that I'm looking at right now. Dude, Texas Tech has got a stacked class this year in this draft. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I just got another linebacker. This guy, I didn't do as much research on him. I actually saw that he was a free agent right when I was basically finishing up the other 3 guys I did. But this is a guy who intrigues me a lot. And real quick, you guys, I just wanted to break the monotony of the show. Do you guys know there's only one team in the history of sports that drafted 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the same year?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Was it Atlanta?
No. Everybody says Atlanta. I wonder if somebody in the chat knows the answer to this question.
It's not Atlanta?
No,
with Brett Favre?
And you're going to be pissed
New
off.
England.
You're going to be pissed off when I tell you who it is.
It definitely wasn't the Bears.
It's certainly not the Bears.
No, the only team in the history of sports to draft 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the same draft is the Kansas City Royals.
Oh shit!
I think it was Dan Marino and somebody else. But here we go. Devin Bush is a guy I think the Bears should be looking at, and this is a guy who's not going to cost you a ton of money, guys. He's 5'11", 234 pounds, so a little bit undersized. 27 years old. He's a Mike off the ball linebacker, just like Kobe Dean. They're saying he's looking for $7 to $9 million annually. That's nothing, man. And like I said, I think the Bears are not kind of like a preferred destination for some of these free agents. So they might be willing to take the 7 instead of the 9 to come to Chicago and win a Super Bowl. He's, like I said, he was on the Pittsburgh Steelers as 2025, University of Michigan, 1st round, 10th overall pick in 2019 NFL draft by the Steelers. His strengths are athleticism and speed, exceptional sideline to sideline range for a linebacker, can track backs and tight ends and coverage effectively. Quick first step makes him a threat in the blitz packages. He's good at blitzing. He gets after the quarterback. Comfortable in short zones, hook curl, flat, and hook to curl transitions. Can match running backs or tight ends in main coverage at times. Reads QB's eyes well, sometimes leading to interceptions. High football IQ. The only weakness they have on here for a man, very, very short, is injury concerns, which at this point could be anybody in the NFL. But the only real weakness they have is run defense consistency. Can hesitate to overrun routes, especially inside. Struggles occasionally to shed blocks from guards. But I mean, man, plays above his size. The list of strengths for this guy was 3 pages long, and his weaknesses was 2 sentences. I mean, this guy is a stud. Last year, he played 17 games, had 123 tackles, 61 slow tackles, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, and he had 164 interception return yards. He had a 97-yard interception return. I think it was a touchdown. He had 8 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. His overall grade on PFF, guys, this is why this guy caught my eye. Of all the linebackers in the NFL, he finished 4th with an 87.6 overall grade. That's amazing. PFF is not quick to give out people good grades, and for him to do that is absolutely amazing. His pass rush grade was 70, 30th out of 88 linebackers. Run defense grade was 88, 8th of all linebackers. And his coverage grade was 80, so 4th of all linebackers, really good in coverage. If you can get a guy like this, after those stats I just showed you, and those PFF grades, for $7 million a year, that's a no-brainer.
Pull the trigger.
That's absolutely no-brainer. I mean, this guy is an absolute fucking stud. And if the Bears could find a way to get him on their roster, I would highly, highly consider that. The only thing, like I said, worries me a little bit is he's short. He doesn't have a lot of length. He's kind of small for a linebacker. But outside of that, that guy is an absolute beast.
All right. I got one last guy.
Hey, really quick, Jay.
Oh, sorry.
J2K, I agree. Vincent Anthony, he's having a big week as well at the Senior Bowl, man. He's having another big week. I think Brandon brought him up on Monday. Really,
yeah, he did.
Duke. He's got a shining light on him as we speak right now. So I can't wait to get through the Senior Bowl and watch this game.
Guys, isn't it?
I won't be home on Saturday night to watch it.
Guys, isn't it weird that we're not going to be like top 15? Like, isn't it be weird waiting in the draft for the end of the first round? It's going to be weird. It's very unfamiliar, very unfamiliar territory. Like, man, we could turn the draft on at 11 o'clock at night and still see the Bears pick, bro.
What are we gonna do on our draft show? We'll have our pre-show, and then we just gotta have like silence for like 2 hours.
We're just gonna wait for 2 hours.
So my last guy that I looked at, and it's really just kind of I was looking for maybe anybody that could help us anywhere, because there are, like you guys we had all mentioned earlier, there's still a lot of holes on the defensive side, but special teams we did pretty good. We kind of had a lull mid-season, and then towards the end of the year we had a lot of our guy Josh Blackwell really I thought had a phenomenal season, and I think it's a travesty he's not in the Pro Bowl. But a guy that I'm looking at might be a little pricey, but I think the upside is ridiculous and definitely worth it, is a guy named Rashid Shaheed. Now, if you guys all remember, obviously started off in New Orleans, had 2 pretty good seasons. I think he wound up in 23 with like 700 and some odd yards. And then in 24, he got hurt, right? He had that big injury and he was out the whole rest of the year. And now last year played half of the year. I think he had like 44 receptions with New Orleans, but, primarily mostly used as like a return specialist. I mean, I think his stats really last year or this past year here were not anything fancy, but I'll tell you what, he has got super speed, like a 4.32, I think 40-yard dash. He's averaging a league average of 29. I think he leads the league in return yardage on average. And if you're looking for what we mentioned earlier in the show here, somebody to really take the top off of the defense, that is a guy that is literally born and bred for that. He's not going to be a slot guy. He's just built for speed. And I'll tell you what, that little corner route that they love to run, and they threw it, 2 or 3 times to Mr. DJ Moore. If you want to lengthen DJ's career, I'd put Rashid Shaheed on that route and watch him just blow by guys. And with Caleb Williams' arm and that just a 70-yard throw, I could easily see that connecting with Rashid Shaheed. But the bad news is he's probably going to want like maybe $14 million a year. I don't know that he's going to get that, but don't be surprised in the Super Bowl if this kid runs one back, because he is in open space a nightmare for everybody on the field.
Oh yeah, and if you just decide to sign Rashid Shaheed, you don't have to sign a kick returner, kick punt returner.
That's what I'm saying. I would sign him more as a kick returner, and then you've got him on offense as well.
He's saving money. Yeah, saving money, man. Because Devin Duvernay is what, $4 million a year. So if you sign a guy who could both be receiver and a kick returner, you're saving yourself. Because let's face it, I know Devin Duvernay has played receiver at times for the Bears guys, but that's not where they want him. They don't want him playing receiver. He is paid solely as a kick punt returner. If you could get a guy who could do both, and you're paying him, you're paying him $4 million as a kick returner, maybe another $8 million as a wide receiver, I'm not opposed to it. I would love for the Bears to have a guy who could truly take the top off the defense. I think Luther Burden could end up being that guy.
He's just such a good route runner. I don't know if they'll wind up using him like that.
Yeah, but a guy who just has that speed where they're like, hey, you know what, man, just go out there and run. Second one, they think we're going to run. Go out there and run down the field, and Caleb will get you the ball. I would love it, man. I would absolutely love it. I don't know if receiver is going to be on the Bears' priority list this offseason.
Yeah, right.
If they could find a way to finagle that and get Rashid Shaheed on top of the rest of this receiving core, the Bears would have one of the most dangerous offenses in football. They already do, but it would just become even more.
I mean, look, what if you sign him for like 10, 12 million, right? Which is not crazy. You got the $4 million away from, the punt returner salary, because that's where you're going to pay in Duvernay.
Birds one stone.
Really, you're paying him, $8 million, $6 million, $7 million a year. It's not, it might be worth it. But
yeah, I agree, man. That would be awesome. Real quick, guys, I don't. Have you guys seen the Dirty Dog here before?
No, I have not. Welcome in, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate you. I agree. And Dirty, I hope you're right. I hope next year I hope next year the Bears have the 32nd pick in the draft. That would be
I agree 100%.
that would be awesome.
That
Love
would
it,
be
man.
amazing.
Absolutely love it. James Christian says Burden, Adunze, and Loveland should be enough for our offense. Yeah, but I mean, if you could add a
And
piece
Jonte
like
Walker.
Rashid Shaheed to that list right there, I certainly
Dual
wouldn't say no.
threat. Hey, I'll just say this, dude. When it comes to Rashid Shaheed, look at how he's changed the dynamic of that Seattle offense. I mean, he takes the top
Since
off.
he got there, Sam Darnold stopped throwing picks.
Yeah.
Sean, I want to piggyback off what you said earlier too, because I need to apologize to Seattle Seahawks in totality. I picked them when we started the season to be like, I think 7 wins or something like that. They're a legit organization. They always find ways to win football games. That defense is legit. That Nicky Worry kid might be one of the best in the NFL. He's absolutely amazing. And what they've done this year is nothing short of impressive. I'm impressed with Sam Darnold, and I do apologize for how much I said he sucked.
I thought he was going to be decent. I did not think he was going to the Super Bowl.
Well, I think part of the reason is I wanted him to suck because he played for the Vikings.
Right.
I just want him to suck. But Sam Darnold what he's done in these playoffs, guys. He looks.
He might be better than he was in Minnesota.
He looks legit. When the Seattle Seahawks decided to sign him, I'm like, oh, wrong move. No, man, they knew what they were doing. That was the right move. And Minnesota should have never let that guy leave the building. That was really dumb by the Vikings.
Look, they got rid of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and got better.
I'm happy that every Minnesota Vikings heart is broken.
Yeah, the Vikings got rid of Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold and got worse.
Well, yeah.
Really quick too. My last guy off this was just Alontae Taylor, drafted in 22 by Dennis Allen in the same draft as one DeMarco Jackson. He was Dennis Allen's 3rd overall pick in his first draft class in 22 as the head coach of the Saints. DeMarco Jackson was his 4th draft pick out of Appalachian State. This kid, I think, based on what Sports Track is saying, I don't want to dive too deep into him. It was a name that was kicked around by the Bears last year. It was Alontae Taylor. But what they're saying coming off of his season this year, where he had 83 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, started 16 to 17 games, can play inside and outside corner. He would be pretty much cheap or a poor man's Kyler Gordon and could pick up the Kyler Gordon role if Kyler Gordon was to miss time. But he's looking for 10 to 13 million per year, and I think that's going to take him out of the Chicago Bears price range unless they can get him on a deal. But he might actually end up staying. I don't know if the Saints are even going to let him go. But I just brought his name up because I know the Bears were kicking the tires on him trying to trade for him last year. So now that he's a free agent and he was a Dennis Allen draft pick and they took DeMarco Jackson from that draft class, maybe they're trying to bring that draft class back in Chicago, which the first pick ever of his draft class, if anyone remembers 2022, was Chris Olave.
Could you imagine if they signed him, Jalen Phillips, and like a Franklin Myers to 2-year contracts, and then they drafted a defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker, and let them groom while they had those guys, and then you got those young guys on rookie contracts when they're paying Caleb Williams, dude. Yeah. I call me greedy, guys. I've been a Chicago Bears fan my entire life. I want that stud linebacker back in Chicago.
Me too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why I want Sonny Styles here, bro.
Dude, I want that guy where it's like not only the Bears have a quarterback, one of the top 10 offenses in the NFL, but good luck getting past Sonny Styles and that defense, man. I want that, man.
You want teams not to throw in the middle. You want wide receivers like, I'm not running the slant route in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not running across Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, or something. I'm not running into that guy. No thanks.
Yeah, J2K, I was thinking about this, but Kyle and Brandon talked about it a little bit on Monday, coming back, with Terrell Smith. I'm personally, I believe it was the Packers game where Tyreek Stevenson drifted off again and Kevin Byard had to get him back engaged into the game. Man, this guy may have skill, but this guy's head is not where it needs to be. And I know right now he's on his rookie deal, not costing us a lot, but Jesus Christ, man, you made this mistake in Washington. You didn't learn for it. And now you're doing against the Packers in a humongous football game. Like, Jesus, dude, what is your deal, man? Like, get your shit together, bro.
Yeah, man, you gotta be like Burden. You gotta put your hand around somebody's throat and get away with that shit, bro.
But J2K, I agree with you, man. I agree with you 100%. Alontae is a DA guy, and he fits everything that DA does, and that's exactly why he drafted him back in for New Orleans. I just don't know with the money that they have, that the Bears have, if they can afford him. And God, J2K and I are on the same wavelength. I swear to God, today I read Chris Gentry's entire profile on draftbuzz.com, and DraftBuzz still has him as an undrafted free agent, which after reading his profile,
Sean, that means we're going to draft him in the 4th round, bro.
I after reading his profile, I didn't understand. And Jake Duquesne saying 5th roundish. I personally don't think, and I told Kyle this the other day, I don't think the draft buzz has adjusted from the season. I think they may adjusted after the combine or something, because I was looking at what's his name in this draft.
Sean, did they ever get back to you?
No, they never did. I reached out to him and they never responded. Romello Heights is who I reached out on because they had a 5th round grade on him. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, guys, everybody else has a 1st and 2nd round grade on this guy. Why are you guys in the 5th round? Like, and I never heard back. So
did they change it? Is he still a 5th round on there?
Yeah, I personally think Draft Buzz is going to change after the combine. I think their site is going to stay the same.
I'm sure they'll adjust after the combine.
That's what I think they're going to be waiting for here.
No doubt about it. I mean, they have to, because everybody else is going to. So the Draft Buzz doesn't want to fall behind. I mean, and it pisses me off because a lot of these guys who get their draft slots adjusted after the combine, that's how some of these teams like the Bears get coaxed into drafting some of these guys who are super athletic but can't play football. So I don't think it should. I think you should be basing these guys based off of the play on the field that you've watched. That's where you should be drafting them, because I can't stand when guys get to the combine, have great combines. They're like, oh my God, this guy's an athletic freak. Yeah, but you watched him for 4 years in college and he couldn't play football. That's the problem. Sometimes that skill set doesn't necessarily translate to the football field, but yeah, I'm sure they're going to be adjusting at some point. Sean, do you have that list of names? You want to just, obviously we're not going to break down any more of these guys. Just some of the free agents. Like, obviously, we didn't talk about Trey Hendrickson. We didn't talk about a lot of these guys who are free agents next
season.
Here,
I'll put this out to the chat. Trade for Max Crosby, sign Trey Hendrickson, or sign Joey Bosa. If I had it my way, I'll say, hey, if I had it my way, I'll figure out a way to get Max Crosby here. Because he's a game wrecker. He can play all over the line. He can do so many things, and he's 27 years old. Trey Hendrickson would probably be my second choice. And then I might even put Khalil Mack ahead of the Bosa boys.
How long was Max Crosby's extension?
I think it was 2 or 3 years.
Do you know, Jason?
No, I'll look it up now.
Well, you see, the problem is that contract can't overlap Caleb Williams' extension.
Yeah,
you can't pay a defensive end $45 million a year when
3 years.
So 3 year, $106.5 million contract.
When was he extended from? This year or last year?
Through 2029.
In March of 25, through 2029.
That sucks, because that's good. That would intersect with Caleb Williams' extension. Not to mention you're gonna have to pay Loveland and Burden too.
Well, Kyle, here, if you do this, and he wants out. I mean, and guys, I know you Bears fans, our chat is intelligent and they've got their ears to the wall like we do. Max Crosby's going on a full Chicago Bears tour. If you're following him on X, I mean, this dude without saying it, this dude wants to be a Chicago Bear. I mean, he loves Caleb Williams, dude.
Yeah,
he actually has said really good things about Caleb.
He was the most complimentary of Caleb Williams of anybody I've ever heard interviewed talking about Caleb Williams. He was like, the guy's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I would. I mean, the dynamics change, and that's why Jay said it a little bit earlier. These are all i.e. just thinking out loud, guys we'd like to sign. I liked Tier Tart a lot. He signed a 1-year deal, and he already got re-up 3-year extension with the Chargers. And I think James, that took their cap space down, because the Titans are the leaders in the clubhouse right now, highest cap, and the Chargers are down to 3. But they did just sign them to I think it was a $35 million contract over 3 years. So Pierre Tart will be staying in LA, in Hollywood.
Yeah, once again,
everybody we talked about gets re-signed.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, that's why this all just way too early projections. But I do believe, guys, that in my soul, if you want Max Crosby, DJ would have to be going over there, man. You have
100%.
You'd have to free up a ton of cap to get Max Crosby over here. So DJ would probably be included in that trade. Now, listen,
They don't want
That's what I was
Daniel.
going to say, Kyle. You have a
Right.
rookie quarterback in Mendoza. DJ Moore did really well with the Justin Fields as a young quarterback. You know,
For sure. And you know what? Like the Bears would still they'd still have a ton of talent around Caleb Williams, but it would suck to see DJ go because I do think he is important to the development of Caleb Williams, and I do think that Caleb Williams is still in the development process of his career. That's just me personally. You're talking about a second year of one of the most confusing offenses in the NFL under Ben Johnson. I think you want as many playmakers around Caleb as you could possibly get. I think the Bears did it the right way, guys. They were worried about the development of Caleb Williams last year. That's why in the free agency and the draft, they went offense, and they wanted to see if they made sure they had the franchise quarterback here, and this guy could become a true NFL franchise quarterback. And now they need to focus on defense. But are you at the point now where you're like, well, our offense was so good, we could start getting rid of some of our playmakers and focus on defense? I don't think so. I think you need one more year of just making sure Caleb Williams is comfortable and there's no excuses. That's just me personally.
and you know what too? I'm looking over his contract details, dude. There's no opt-outs. And he's fully guaranteed, dude.
It's like 33 million, and 33 million. It's a 3-year, $106 million.
There's zero opt-outs in this deal too. So he's locked in, dude.
Yeah, and
he got paid.
Jai Tilakilla says not Trey Hendrickson. He's a DA guy from New Orleans, 17 sacks, 24, 17 sacks. Yeah. Listen, I understand the success of Trey Hendrickson. The only reason that we worry about Trey Hendrickson guy is he's in his 30s and he's been injured. He was injured all last year. I mean, you don't know what you're getting. You just don't know what you're getting. It's hard
to pay that kind of money and then have a guy get injured right away.
Yeah, you get 17 sacks or you get 9 sacks coming off of an injured riddled season. Like I don't know. That's up to Ryan Poles to decide. I've said this numerous times in the past. I'll say it again. I am glad I'm not an NFL GM because damn, that job's got to be tough.
I'll tell you this, man. With Poles coming from Kansas City, I guarantee he has some kind of a relationship with Brett Veach, and Brett Veach seems to be very astute when it comes to figuring these things out. And maybe he'll pick up the phone and reach out to him and get some suggestions or something. I will tell you this: if Ian Cunningham does leave this team, I do have a little bit of concern because I do feel as though he is a very, very strong brain and voice in those rooms. And it does make me worry a little bit, but maybe Ben Johnson knows what he wants and Dennis Allen knows what he wants. So Ryan Poles doesn't have to lean on that expertise of Cunningham as much anymore. That could very well be.
Well, and I wonder, I mean, I'd like to find the room for conversation. Like maybe you talk to Ian Cunningham and he says, no, Ryan's very smart. He's very smart. We lean off of each other. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That could be.
I don't know who's the loudest voice in that room, but yeah, I agree with you, Foster.
Yeah, all speculation. Yeah,
this team's going to look a lot different next year, Foster. And unfortunately, I do think Jaquan Brisker is no longer going to be a part of it. I think
agree.
Sean and I talked about, man, if you guys listen to Ryan's postseason presser, the fact that he called Kevin Byard out numerous times in that presser, talked about how much he likes Kevin Byard. That if you ask me if the Bears are only re-signing one of them, you guys correct me if you think
I agree,
I'm wrong.
Dirty Dog.
I think it's going to be Kevin Byard over Jaquan Brisker, and I think Byard's probably a little bit cheaper. Yeah, you don't have to commit to him long term, right? You can be off the books when you're extending Caleb Williams.
He's another leader on the defense. You know, it's good to have a safety like that because he's actually seeing the entire field. And look, the guy is just an interception machine. It's not just this year. He has the most interceptions out of any player since he's entered the league. I mean, that's a fact. And I love the guy.
Yeah, J2K, the one thing I've learned is there's a will, there's a way with the cap, because I thought the Chiefs were toast last year when they came into the offseason in the red $3 million. And they still signed their linemen. They signed Bolton. They got McDuffie. I mean, they got all their stars. They gave up Tooney. Tooney was their sacrificial lamb.
And you know, I think they're going to restructure both Tooney and Jackson. You guys, in a way, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world to be strapped against the salary cap because good teams win through the draft. That's how you win. You got to win through the draft. And now the Bears are going to be forced into having good draft. You have
I think they were only like 3-year contracts, right, Kyle? All those like Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and so instead of both 2 more years and put that money back somewhere later. I mean, they're definitely worth it. I mean, Tooney is worth whatever he wants.
Yeah, I
Whatever
agree.
money Tony wants, give it to him.
Yeah, I think he's the best guard in football, man. I really do. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Bears fan. I thought highly of Joe Tooney when he was on the
Oh.
Patriots. I thought highly of him when he was on the Chiefs. Everywhere he goes, they win football games. It's just there's just something about that guy, man. He is the consummate professional and he's damn good at his job. And then they're like, hey, Tooney, I know you've been playing left guard all season, but it's a playoff game and against the Rams. Do you mind jumping over? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever you guys want. I don't give a shit.
Give up 0 sacks.
And I'll just give up 0 sacks and no pressures.
Yeah, all good. Whatever helps you guys. Whatever helps you. I'll play quarterback. I don't give a shit.
Wow.
No,
I
it
love
does
it.
feel it does feel a little different, because I believe like now that the Bears had a winning season, we're seeing a lot of these the hate, when you're successful and you're running your victory laps, everyone's waiting
Envious.
for your downfall, because success creates hate. I mean, we hated the Patriots, we hated the Chiefs, because they just kept
Everyone
winning.
hates Elon Musk.
Yeah. Everyone hates Elon Musk.
Everybody hated the Bulls. I guarantee you. Everybody hated the
Oh
Hawks.
God, Michael Jordan. They hated they were like,
You know,
"Fuck,
it's weird
man,
though.
Michael
It's weird
Jordan,
though.
Fuck that guy."
It's weird though, because when you're younger and you're watching dynasties, you hate them. Outside of your team, obviously, right? When you're
Right.
younger, when you're older, you respect them.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you're like, man, I wish I had that, dude.
Tom
Yeah,
Brady
amazing.
leaving the NFL was like almost losing a piece of yourself. You've been
Yeah.
watching Tom Brady dominate for 20 years and it's like 30 years and it's like he's leaving. It's like, this is weird. This is gonna be a weird NFL without Tom Brady in it. It's gonna be
Yeah,
weird. And just how much change is happening in the NFL right now. The whole face of the NFL is changing. I mean, all the quarterbacks, or all the guys who are going to be at the top of the list, you start to see these old guys start to struggle a little bit. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, these guys who have been the face of the NFL for years, none of them made the playoffs. And here comes the Caleb Williams and the Jaden Daniels and the Drake Mays. It's awesome. It's awesome to watch. But yeah, I mean, you guys, what's most important about Joe Tooney is the games missed is fucking insane. Insane. This guy's played
Has
in
he
the NFL
ever
for
missed a
10
game in
years.
his career?
I
Like,
think
what?
he's missed 2 in 10 years, dude. Like, people are like, that Bears offensive line, you guys may love it, but they're going to be hurt next year. Like, yeah, you tell Joe Tooney that. I don't think he'd be like, when? And you know what, Jonah, the Bears offensive line, they're going to build depth on that offensive line this offseason. So they're going to be in good shape for a long time, man.
How nice is that? We finally can say we know what our offensive line is. We just need to add some like depth pieces.
Yeah,
That's it.
just in case Jonah Jackson misses 2 or 3 games next
Yeah.
year, or Drew Dahlman misses 2, you just got to add a capable backup.
I was gonna say you definitely do, because I will say, even though our left tackle got hurt late last game of the season, fourth quarter of that Packers game, the health that the Bears had on the line is something I wouldn't go into next
Bank
year.
on. Yeah, I wouldn't bank
Yeah,
on.
I would
Right.
not be banking
Well,
on
and you
that.
guys, honestly, they don't have an option. They have to add depth to the offensive line because that's 5 of their free agents. Let's see.
Yeah.
Braxton Jones, gone. Who's Ryan Bates, gone. Jordan McFadden, free agent. Theo Benedict, free agent. I mean, they have to add to
They
the
probably
line.
re-signed
They don't
Theo.
have
He's
an
not going to get a big
I
contract.
think McFadden will be back. I think I know
Well,
we talked about this too, but I think
Theo's-
Benedette might be back.
Theo's an exclusive rights free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Benedette
it's-
is correct.
Yeah, so the Bears.
So the
they
Bears
have-
can offer
they
him
get-
league
Yeah,
minimum.
they get first offer, man. Like,
Yeah.
they can do
He doesn't
whatever
want to
they
move back to Canada, so he's staying.
He's like, I'm not going back to.
And they're also losing. And then the Bears. I mean, I guess he's technically part of a line that they're losing their long snapper too. So the Bears have some work to do on the lines. And the
Oh yeah,
draft.
Scott Daly.
Yeah,
he's a free agent.
as well.
They might re-sign him. I mean, what is he going to get? Like $2 million, $1 million?
Listen,
Hey.
this sounds so bad because the Bears had such a good long snapper here for such a long time, but like Patrick Manley. But I mean, if Daly leaves and they draft another one or undrafted, I don't
Yeah,
give
whatever,
a shit,
yeah.
bro. I don't
Yeah.
care, dude.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys, because this was a conversation with Brandon and I on Monday, an extensive conversation. I know Bears fans or sports fans in general start to fall in love with names rather than production, right? We've seen that a million times over here. How do you guys feel about cutting Santos and Swift and saving another $10 million against the guy? I mean, dude, look at the kickers coming from Australia and from high school and shit who are kicking 70-yard field goals. Like, does Cairo Santos need to be here for $4 million a year?
No, I'm fine with that. But
Does
I
he?
mean, the DeAndre Swift just feels like such a dirty move, dude. Like,
I know, man, but
Johnson
you're
comes
talking
back in
about-
and gets rid of him again. He had a good year.
I know he did, but
good.
you're talking about a guy who's making $8 million a year, and he had
Yeah.
his best season of his career, and he had barely 1,100 yards. Like, I mean, it's not like he was absolutely just out of this world amazing. Like, if you guys said to rank DeAndre Swift right now, where do you put him? Where do you put him? 12, 14,
Mid,
16,
yeah,
18?
just right mid pack, right where he always
I mean,
is.
I can name 5 off the top of my head that are way better than DeAndre Swift, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Keyshawn Robinson, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, if you can go get a guy like that in the draft and be like, hey, Swift, we're also going to save $8 million by getting rid of you.
Brees Hall's a free agent.
I'm not opposed to it, man. So is Travis Etienne. There's a lot of good running
Oh
backs
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. You might be able to pay him less.
Yeah, and the Bears. There's some people saying the Bears have reached out about Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with James on this one. I would cut Swift and sign Travis Etienne. Look, man, I'm with Kyle on this one, man. And Jay, I understand what you're saying too, that it's a dirty move, and
I just feel bad for him. If it happens, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It just, man.
And Dirty Dog, I agree with you. That's still a bargain price. But if you say you're like, hey, let's give our running back $3 more million. So instead of 8, we'll give him 11, and you're getting Brees Hall instead of DeAndre Swift. I'm taking that shit all day, man. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just don't.
I like DeAndre Swift. I do.
This might not be popular, but if you can end up with a Jadarian Price in the 3rd round, you're cutting him and allocating that money towards, the D line. I'm okay with that too, man, because Jadarian Price, I think he's going to be pretty damn good in this league. I mean,
well, and you have to start to ask, Sean, how much do the Bears like DeAndre Swift? Because they didn't use him a ton. they seem to like Kyle Monangai more.
I agree.
I mean, I don't know, guys. Ben Johnson got rid of DeAndre Swift once. he got rid of him once.
Bingo!
Wouldn't surprise me at all if he did it again.
It could be something they do next year too, though. I think he's got 2 years left on his contract.
And Santos, $4 million to not kick 60-yard field goal, 55, not be able to kick 55-yard field goals for $4 million a year, bro.
I got a 3rd round tag on him, bro.
Yeah, go to Australia, go to France or whatever.
Yeah. Go outside on the street corner. I don't know, man. I just feel like Carlos Santos is nowhere near the top kickers in the league, and you're paying him $4 million a year. I think you could probably pay a kicker league minimum to replace the same productivity. I understand he's very accurate inside 40 yards. I get it. I totally get it. And I don't dislike Carlos Santos, but I don't know, man. Yeah, 30. I've talked about this before. That Miami team is a team I'd keep my eye on because I do think they're going to start picking that team apart a little bit. I just don't. I think Tua's not the guy. I think they know that.
Yeah,
I think they're probably thinking more about the future than they are immediate success. Devin Achane is a guy who I think his name is going to be dangled out there for trade interest. And if the Bears, but you know what, if Devin Achane is going to be dangled, wherever Mike McDaniel ends up, that's where he's going to, unless he stays in LA Chargers, because Hampton ain't going anywhere.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, after watching Achane over the last 3 seasons, if Mike McDaniel does end up just being the offensive coordinator in LA, Omarion Hampton's going to be high on my fantasy list. I can tell you that shit, because I feel like H.A. touches the ball every play, dude. Every single play.
Hey, boys, we're getting a little late into the evening here. We got one more order of business. I like Singleton, too. I like both running backs. Craychon Allen, I love that kid, too.
Yeah, and Chai, guys, everybody in the chat, especially DJ, you guys all know your shit. You obviously studied the draft. You study these prospects. You guys, please stay with us, man. The next 3-4 weeks, we're going to break down each one of these position groups individually. And we're going to tell you,
basically.
Yeah, we're going to tell you where we think these guys are going to fall. Who do we think is the best fit for the Chicago Bears? Who do we think is the best fit for Dennis Allen or Ben Johnson? And we're going to we want to hear you guys, and we're going to deep dive into each one of these guys, and we're going to rank them. We're also going to do mock drafts that we'd love you guys to be a part of. Come help us pick the Bears draft picks. We did it last year. It was a smashing success. Everybody had a great time, man. We do a live draft. We put it on the screen so you guys can see it. We ask you guys who you would pick at this position with who's left. It's fun, man. It's fun.
Well, we're gonna turn the show somber here for a couple of moments, as we honor one of Chicago's greatest, and he wasn't an athlete. It was Terry Boers, and for those who don't know Terry Boers, you should, and we're gonna try and do our best to get you to know him over these next couple of minutes. He's a Chicago icon. He was a legend. One of the original voices of the score that launched back on January 2nd in 1992 on AM 820. Terry Boers was there from the beginning, guys. He helped define what Chicago sports radio can be and ultimately became in the city of Chicago. I might get a little choked up doing this, man, because Terry was a big part of my life, man. Growing up, he's one of the reasons why I do this right now. And anybody who does this should aspire to be what Terry Boris was on this kind of a platform. Long before radio, he spent 2 years at the Chicago Sun-Times as a columnist. He worked at the copy desk in 1980. Then he took over the Bulls beat in 82, a job he almost didn't get. But the guy who was originally giving it to him, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, decided to take a job at the Washington Post. So Terry wound up getting the Bulls beat. Even then, Uncle Terry was sharpening his wit, his intelligence, his perspective, and later would make himself unforgettable on the Score 670. Because on the radio is where Terry truly became indispensable. From the early days with Dan McNeil as part of the heavy fuel crew on 820. Dan McNeil to his legendary run with Dan Bernstein from 99 to 2016. Boris and Bernstein became appointment listening from their first crack from 8 to 12 before they moved to the noon time slot. They gave us memories we'll never forget. The mornings and afternoons I never missed. especially some of these iconic segments like Who You Crappin'? Who You Crappin', Jay, was undeniably one of my favorite moments every week. And Who You Crappin' came from what? Came from Terry Boers questioning Dicka's demeanor and passion, and Dicka fired back, calling Terry hypocritical and asking him, who you crappin'? And if you ever heard Who You Crappin', that was a soundbite you heard. The phrase became the show's signature segment. Listeners called in to expose and mock and highlight sports figures and media members and celebrities who lied, misled, or displayed hypocrisy. The place where I met Terry Boers 3 times in my life was the Who Needs To Tavern tour. These guys went to multiple bars around Chicago, him and Bernstein, and you would just yuck it up, have some beers, and hang out with these dudes. And it was a truly amazing afternoon of sports radio. They came up with Friday Fung, a Friday staple that was kind of a mock off Ozzie Guillen's pronunciation of fun. They had High Noon, which is now a defunct segment, but in their middays, it was punctuated with the gunshot sound effect after each item that they discussed. They had the annual quote of the year, the annual December segment that compiled some of the most ridiculous, nonsensical, funny quotes from sports figures. The winner receiving, Jay, I know you remember this, the Larry Horse Ass trophy that they handed out every year in December. And that was the crew right there. Bernstein, Matt Abaticola, and Terry Boers. Indispensable. The Tournament of Bad, their March Madness style bracket where they had listeners vote on the most scandalous, annoying, and pathetic people and stories in sports and news. From 1999 through 2016, Boers and Bernstein defined what many consider the golden age of sports radio. Terry had his way of cutting through sports with humor, honesty, and his razor sharp wit and insight. No one made me personally laugh more listening to a radio show than Uncle Terry. His cleverness, his intelligence, his larger-than-life personality were unmatched, still unrivaled to this day. His approach was completely his own. Terry wasn't only talking about sports, he was teaching us how to think about them, how to laugh at them, and sometimes how to even laugh at ourselves. Terry retired from the Score back in 2017 due to his health concerns and the problems he had that began with his liver issues, which he sadly passed away this Friday from liver failure. He left behind a legacy that can never be replicated and a voice that will never be forgotten. From 4-Star Chicago Sports, we give our condolences to his wife, Carol, his 4 children, and the entire Boers family. Rest in peace, Uncle Terry, or Borsey, whatever you like to call him. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the laughs. You're one of a kind. The Michael Jordan of sports radio. You're gone, but what you did for Chicago sports radio and media will never be forgotten in the hearts of Chicago fans, and I'm sure beyond. Uncle Terry, you were the icon. You were the man. We'll love you, and we'll miss you very, very much. And, Jay, I know you got some things to say, man. That was really hard for me to get through. I had to pause a couple times. But Terry Boers was the shit, man. And if you listen to the celebration they did this past Tuesday from 12 to 7. You can go back on Odyssey and you can listen to it. The people he touched. He wasn't just on the radio. He helped every individual that ever walked into the score, that ever came across his path. He was an innovator, a trailblazer. He was the man, and he will be sorely missed. He will be sorely missed.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll start off real quick here, just with some of the weird facts that I learned listening to that show. Like, obviously, Mike Greenberg, like an international sports talk superstar, right? He actually started his career at 670 The Score. I believe he was producing and was there in the room with Terry during that Mike Ditka "Who You Crappin'" soundbite. But he had mentioned Greenberg something really interesting. Back when he was just graduated from Northwestern, was basically an intern and producer at 670 The Score. They went to the Super Bowl, right? And there was only 3 radio stations on Radio Row. There was one New York affiliate, a Chicago affiliate, and then an LA affiliate, right? Terry Bors was there. He was literally at the beginning of sports talk radio, not just in Chicago, but in the country.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the Michael Jordan moniker is great, but he almost is like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or like Wilt Chamberlain. He built the foundation that this genre of talk was built off of. For me personally, why I like Terry, really super funny, but I've had a job for a really long time where you have to say no to people in probably some of their most vulnerable, times of their life. Financially, it's hard for them, whatever. And I got to tell people, no, I ain't paying for that. And you get a lot of crap and feedback from not just customers, from, the vendors and body shops and everybody else that you're dealing with. And you can get some pretty mean conversations and mean things being said. And I had on Thursdays a drive-in where I would basically sit at the body shop in Skokie and get people to drive in, and I'd write their estimates and then, cut them a check and whatever. It was right across the street, right down the street on Skokie Boulevard from like a nut house. And you get weird people walking down the streets, peeing right in front of you. You got customers. I had one guy rip moldings off a car and throw them at me. I have been through hell. And on those Thursdays, I'd have you leave at 5:30 from Skokie trying to get home. You're not getting home to the northwest suburbs until 7:30. They would have Who You Crap, and then of course Friday Fun was great too. But every time I heard Who You Crap, and everything that just happened to me during the day just went away. It didn't even happen anymore. I just sat back and listened in traffic. Didn't even care it was in traffic. I just got to enjoy it. It was like my favorite part of the day, to be perfectly honest.
100%.
And he's the one that really made me love sports talk radio. Fell in love with it because of that Bors and Bernstein show. And I'll tell you what, he will definitely be missed. 75 is way too young to pass. And hearing all the huge outpour and everybody that loved Terry Bors, I'm not surprised, because he also helped people. He wasn't just a smart ass, calling people ninny and get it out, you sputtering bitch.
That was great, dude.
He's just, I love the guy. I didn't even know him. I actually never met him. But, when you hear somebody talk for a long time on a talk show or radio show that you listen to for me, it was like, I think, man, it was probably like 15 years I listened to him straight.
They were appointment radio, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they started in 99 or whatever, and they went till 2016. I listened to him almost the entire time. I felt like I knew him, and he made me feel like he knew me, even though I've never said a word to the guy. You know what I mean? I love the guy. He will be missed, and that's pretty much it. Kyle, I know you probably didn't listen too much to him on his early years, but maybe in his latter years you get him. I don't know if you wanted to say something, but yeah, he will be missed.
I love Terry Bors. I mean, obviously you guys got to hear a lot more than I did, but he was one of my favorite sports radio personalities. Like you said, Jason, smart ass, but in the best way possible. Super intelligent. I mean, the guy was awesome. Who You Crappin'? I've heard obviously tons and tons and tons and tons of Who You Crappin' on. They replay it constantly. Outside, just alongside with Florida versus Ohio. That's one of my favorite sports radio bits of all time. Man. He will be truly missed, and he is certainly an innovator for sports radio, no doubt about it.
Penis. Do it, Jay. I can't. I can't do it. Jay does the penis and by cracky way back.
83.
I love it. And you know what sucked? And I guess I liked him and Dan McNeil because I've never been a huge fan of Dan Bernstein, but it worked. It really did. Even though, because Terry Boers would take you away from how much of a penis fucking Dan Bernstein is still to this day.
Bernstein
And
sucks.
Bernstein's terrible. And I still do want to go back. I didn't get a chance today, but I do want to go back on Odyssey. I want to listen to the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. I heard it was really moving with Dan Bernstein talking about his time with Terry. I got to go back and watch that. And for anyone who cares enough, he just had a radio appearance. It wasn't a radio appearance. It was on Dan Bernstein's new podcast, 312 podcast. It was within the last 6 weeks. He had Terry Boers on, and it was Abaticola, Bernstein, and Terry Boers. And
I love Matt Abaticola too, man. Those guys, he's awesome.
Matt Abaticola is the shit. and that's why I put this picture up, man, because this was the crew right here, man. There's a Abaticola in the back. I don't know who the dude is on the right. But Bornstein, Burrs, and a Abaticola right there. That's a priceless picture, man.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Those were the guys growing up that made fucking sports radio. And as much as Dan Bernstein is a penis, he's still a big part of.
Well, you almost need him. You almost need him.
Yeah.
I loved how they used to just bash the Meatball Bears fans and
that
Bills
was
fans.
the best.
Like, what are you talking about? You're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're like, they would just, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Now, it was amazing.
You have to have an arch nemesis to have a hero, man. Dan Bernstein, he knows what he's doing. He knows he's getting under people's skin. He does it on purpose. That's his personality. That's who he is, man.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
almost need him. You almost need him.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like him, you need him.
And they did announce yesterday. I don't know if you heard this, Jay. Dan McNeil could not make it to the tribute.
Oh, yeah.
But they do have a day planned for him in the next week where he's going to come on and spend some time, and that's going to be cool.
He's going to have some awesome stories.
I love Dan McNeil's probably right up there in my top 3 of all time. I love Dan McNeil, dude, a lot. There she is, Brookie.
Brookie.
Can you say
Brookie.
Broken.
No, it's not broken.
Can you say 83?
83. All right, boys.
All right.
It's been a
I
pleasure,
agree,
man.
Dustin.
Yes.
I agree, my friend. Hey, no worries, Mikey. We love you, brother. We know you're always around. You go back and listen to it on your way to work tomorrow. You know what I mean, brother? We love you, man. Yeah, until tomorrow, we got Dustin and Brandon. They're going to burn the midnight oil on the bare minimum. And what happens if you can't stay up late? I don't know. Maybe you should put them on in the morning on your way to work with your cup of coffee and then finish the show on your way home.
Yep.
I'm not sure that we're going to be back this weekend, but we are ramping up and working on some weekend shows. We will have the Northside 9 starting up. I'm working on getting a very, very big guest for the debut of the Northside 9.
Big in size or big in fame?
Let's just say he might do play-by-play for the Chicago Cubs.
Oh,
I already have a confirmation. I'm just working on the date. He said he'd be more than happy to do it. So, well, you don't count, Lindsay. You should have said it's an hour.
Big
And I
guest.
listen every week.
Yeah, as always, man, thank you so much, everybody in the chat today. We had a couple new
Thanks,
joiners
everybody.
here. Appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button, man. We love you guys. Appreciate you. And you guys take care of yourself so you could take care of each other. And I will see you guys next week.
Yes. Peace out.
Good, better, bad. Never let it rain. Never let it rain. You're good, get better. You're good, get better. You better get better. You better get better. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's why that guy's not going to rest all season, because our good hasn't gotten better and our best still isn't here.
Thanks,
This
Travis.
guy ain't sleeping for 365 days. Let's go.
Appreciate you, Travis.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Thanks, Mikey.
Peace and love, everybody.
Peace out.
Bear down.
Bear down.